Yeah, that plays off well these days.
Alright, we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to the Lich's Archives. As usual, not a lot of things to announce. One of the big things that we have going on is I'm slowly getting closer to launching a Kickstarter for the world of Prime Ages, so keep your eyes open for that if you're interested in learning more about this world or participating. And I believe besides that, Assi, you wanted to mention something as well.
Yes, so hopefully either this week or next on Monday or Tuesday, we haven't decided yet, but we're talking about doing a little hangout session, talking about our characters, talking about the world, talking about like just what's going on in the game. Our first session would be talking about like mostly how we created our characters and what like helped inspire them. If you guys are interested in that at all, like if you have any questions, sorry, you can either comment in chat or message our Facebook page, actually.
And same with you watching this on YouTube, you can also always comment below the video and feel free to hit that like button. But besides all of that, I think that wraps up today's announcements and we can just jump on into this, yeah?
Yeah, that's all I have.
Alright, so then, last we left off, Inflict heroics were still heroically making their way through the woods trying to reach Fey Pond. They've had a couple of encounters. They've ran into some roadside people that seemed might have been trying to rob them, might have been trying to do something else. It was rather undecided as to what happened, and you guys split away from that. There's some run-ins with some weird creatures in the woods, some bodies found along the way, a run-in with a witch, a run-in with some sort of nymph, and some would-be treant, apparently, some mud sharks, and of course, the murderous goats, and their goat photo all the way up in the mountains. The other thing you ran into up there was a group of kids. You guys decided to do what you could to help these kids, but due to a lack of resources, some fear of heights, and some other things, the group actually ended up splitting up for the first time. Cole was left to walk back down the way they came, accompanied by Tabaxi and a dwarf kid. I have their names here. You think I would have prepped having their names at the top of my head, and I tried, but then it's just gone. Thilby, the black Tabaxi, and Basha, the female dwarf. Besides that, with Richardson, who was a human who seemed to have been badly mauled by a bear, and beyond Shalashar and Ko's healing abilities, strapped to Shalashar's back, the other three decided to make their way down this sheer cliff some 1,400 feet, with only, 350 feet of rope.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of jank using the Mold Earth spell, some rituals.
Not Mold Earth, but yes.
The fact that a skeletal figure such as you doesn't really need to rest, but your two elf or semi-elf companions had to deal with the weakness of flesh. And they ended up making quite a few rolls all the way down, and I think even got a couple points of exhaustion. But yet, even at the end, having left a shield embedded in the wall, several lengths of rope, an arrow at the top, as well as, what was the other thing? Your shovel?
My shovel.
You were the only one that took damage when you fell the last 100 feet to meet the ground.
Love that crit fail. Holy shit.
Thanks to your ability to kind of bend fate and prevent damage with your cleric subtype, you were able to absorb the brunt of this earthly impact.
And still almost died.
You did manage to survive though, and with that, Assi's fine companion, I know its name, starts with a D. Remind me.
Dottie.
Well,
Dottie.
It doesn't start with a D, the nickname starts with a D.
Okay.
It's Peridot, or Dottie for short.
Peridot. Well, they were used to good effect as well. And they were sent off ahead to meet up with the town and let them know what's happening. And that's kind of where we're picking this up. Having made it down the mountain, you guys met briefly with some figure that seemed to be an official in charge of this place who kind of took your group as well as a couple of other elven rangers and led you guys back to town. You were given lodgings over at the Grumpy Hornet, and you guys were just starting to settle down for that and figure out what it is that you wanted to do. Before being herded off by yourselves to either the showers or whatever else it was that you wanted to do, you were warned that there is a curfew. And meanwhile, Cole, you went off, you made it all the way to the bottom of this mountain, and you took lodgings in the same cave.
Shit cave?
Yes, the same shit cave that the group was at but a night before. You know, you spent one day going up, the rest of the day going back down. You know, it's almost like you've made zero progress. So, with all of that, yes, do you have a question?
Something I want to do when we start.
Okay, I'll begin with you. Do you guys want to have taken your long rest? Is there anything you wanted to do, just so I know where to begin?
I wanted to get a package of like warm food, or at least like warm-ish food, tie it up in a bundle, put it in Dottie's claws, and send Dottie to the cave we had stayed at, because I'm hoping that he got that far.
Nice.
And then have it like go to the cave and start searching around from there.
Your familiar still isn't back, actually, because you sent it off with a message to let them know that Richard's son is actually here, as you guys didn't specify.
I'll stay up until Dottie comes, and then I'll send him.
Okay, you got it. So you want to keep him.
I'm there like half asleep in a bowl of stew.
All right. So that's where we will be beginning. We'll say you guys have taken your long rest when you wake up. So we find our group currently, most of the group, within the town of Fay Pond. This town is built around a gigantic pond in the center of this town. I don't know why I've needed to say center 3 times in this conversation, but the water of this thing kind of glows, and there's just something very strange with this water. Besides that, the rest of the town is rather elven in design. There's 5 spires that come up around this. One at the, imagine like if you were to put like the points of a star, that sort of formation for these 5 spires. And these spires are connected by a bridge, each of them. These spires, as I said, are elven design, which implies that they're made of metal, and they almost look as though they're woven together more than built or constructed in a way. They're definitely a very organic sort of shape. As you fan out or move away from the center of the town, you get into more orcish designs with simpler buildings. You guys currently are residing within one of these spires. You were given keys to your room and told, again, there's a curfew, and if you hear anything at night, just stay in. The guards will deal with it. And that if you were to go higher in this spire, eventually you'll hit a place where you can't get in. This is a inn up to a certain point, and then it shifts into something else. So, Assie, you never made it to your room then. You're sitting down at the bottom floor of this place, kind of slouched over your stew. Shalashar and Arod, where would you 2 like to be?
This is presumably the next day, correct?
Yes, this would be just coming to, first light sort of thing.
I think I wouldn't be much for like hanging around the tavern. I'd probably be assuming that there's the ability to. I'd like to like look around the town, kind of inspect the pond. Like, we're here for a reason. I'd like to kind of get a layout of the land.
All right. Do you want to have done this early, or would you like to have tried to have gotten out before the curfew ended?
No, after I'd probably do it like first light.
Alright, so you'll be kind of walking by and you'll notice Assie on your way there. What about you, Arod? Where are you this fine morning?
At the bar getting a drink.
Starting the day right, I love it.
Started the day right.
Alright, and then Cole, I also need to know what you're doing. Even though you're not with this group, you are still part of Inflict Heroics. So you would be waking up in your cave.
Poop cave.
And I believe Basha would have been the last one to have taken their shift. And you were just waking up after your weird little dream, having just had a slight little epiphany as to what exactly this city is.
I just do my usual morning routine, wake up, have breakfast, pull out my little black book and write in it a little bit. Then I'll round up the teens and we'll start walking off.
Get moving. Does Core have any sort of travel plans in mind or anything that I should be aware of?
Just go around the mountain.
Alright. Can you do me a favor and roll 2d20s?
Do I have to?
Yes, unfortunately. Oh, I could roll
What if
one
I-
if you want.
I got it.
Roll for Black Phillip.
Roll for Black Phillip. Just the goat jumping off the mountain head first.
You know what? Fuck both. And as is
Goats get
typical for
money.
my character,
If it's 2 6s,
one is a 4,
okay.
the other one is a 5.
I mean, one of those is my favorite number, so it can't be that
Alright,
bad.
I will get right back to you. I want to start with the larger group, as you guys are currently...
Nice to meet you. You're still in the cave. Fuck you going this way.
I need time to check my notes, get everything, percolating and moving, as the kids might say. So, Shalashara, you are actually kind of the last one to rise. As you're coming down these stairs, you can see Assy, who looks like they haven't slept, A-Rod as well, who's at the bar, and he is currently... Looks like he's already one drink in, and he has another one lined up in front of him. And besides that, there aren't too many people in this area. You can make out, same with you, A-Rod, as you have a decent perception. There's probably like 4 or 5 other people in here. All of them seem to be elven or half-elves. 2 of them are off to one side, they're kind of having another conversation, and then 3 are also on the other side of the bar. And they're having water, almost sensible drinks, Are you guys planning to stay here? I know you want to head out, Shalashar and Assy. Let's quickly take something here. At this point, we'll say you kind of feel that connection click back on as your familiar is just now starting to get back within range.
Okay.
So you're
like-
kind of
I'm like-
woken up by this connection.
My head is like on my my elbow on the table. I'm like leaning, crouched, like half over, protectively around this empty bowl of stew. Like that's my food, nobody can steal, but I'm like. And then, oh, Daddy's back.
Hooray!
Yeah, good morning.
Here, have one of these. I'll buy her a beer.
Slide one
I
over.
don't drink piss this early in the morning, and I'll go get some tea.
More for me.
And I'll poof Dottie right here, like save Dottie a little bit of flying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your familiar appears before you.
I'm gonna be, hey, how'd it go, baby cakes?
Kind of like cocks its head at you. You can see like the message that you gave it is no longer with it, so that was clearly delivered.
Yeah.
Um,
I think with the find familiar spell, like I can actually like communicate with
You
my
can.
familiar
so
and like understand each other. So like it was successful. I think
what kind of connection do you want with this thing? Do you want it to be like crystal clear communication, or do you want more of like, what do you envision when you think about this connection with this familiar? What is communicating with it like?
I think like us like I think like parrot-like intelligence and like ability to communicate. Yeah.
Okay.
But like
So when you're kind of,
like she can like really understand. It's mostly in my head unless she chooses to like.
Alright, well, in that
Say it out
case, you
loud.
kind of, you get feelings from it. It's not talking like a parrot, as it is an owl, but you're able to kind of get a general sense. And one of the main senses that you do get from this is it thinks it saw something familiar with whatever this was. Whoever is out there to pick them up in this carriage seems familiar. It's seen this carriage before.
Okay. The carriage has been seen before. That's interesting. Do you think you have one more flight in you?
Just kind of, it nods its head yes.
Beautiful. So I'm gonna get like some like breakfast and like travel foods. Something nice, and like I'm also gonna put like 3 bags of tea in there as well. Tie
Okay.
it nicely, give it to Dottie, and send Dottie like up the path. Like, remember the cave where we had slept before? I'm hoping he got there far and started there, but like go there and then start circling around looking for him, heading downwards.
Alright, so you gather up your familiar, get this little pack, you start tying it up as everyone else is doing whatever they're doing. Shalisha, are you sticking around or are you leaving during this? As you see Assie's setting this up and then starts walking towards the door with their familiar.
Considering everyone was kind of getting their stuff together, and A-Rod is liver deep in booze, I'm probably just gonna get a move on. There's no point in kind of waiting around, especially because the sooner we respond and like go through the proper channels, the sooner we get paid. And
Oh, Avon, write
Yeah.
Cole a note. Like, let him know like what happened and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, that's alright,
Like,
fine.
you write up a note. Oh, and tell him that Dottie saw a carriage and they think it's familiar. It seemed familiar to Dottie. So like, let him know that just in case.
Familiar carriage, huh? Alright, I'll grab a piece of parchment.
Familiar saw a familiar carriage.
Been waiting to bust that one out, huh?
The barkeep just shakes his head and then he like points to you, Aod. He goes, "It's silver for those drinks, by the way."
Okay, here you go. I got a silver.
And how much for breakfast?
Breakfast, that was covered. The drinks, though, Grumpy Hornet has rather proud of our supply, and that's usually something you have to pay for to fully enjoy it. So, breakfast free,
Fair
drinks, not so much. Hope you enjoy it, though. We actually keep
Worth
the
every bit.
No, glad you think so. Daddy's gonna turn his back, get back, kind of, moves around the bar as much as he can, dealing with the other patrons here and there, even though it's rather slow at this point. But soon enough, A-Rod, you have your thing penned if you want to do so. You have your
Yes.
package prepared AC, your pulse a little lighter though. Where would you guys like to go? Shalisha, you can wait for them, or you could already be out and about if you so wish. You tell me.
I think I'd be out and about, just really gonna start. Like, it's not hard to spot me, and never mind, they're both rogues, so it's not gonna be a matter of trying to find me.
Alright, so
I'm just gonna be
so you just
inspecting.
want to be kind of looking around. It can be investigation or perception, or you could tell me specifically what you're trying to look for.
I think perception, but I do have the book full of all the information that we were given initially. So I want to kind of go through all the reports, anything, if there's any leads to go on, if there were certain areas that were more responsive or there came up more often in reports.
If you remember last time, it was just kind of mentioning mostly like what was going on with Bola, but there wasn't a lot of things, and you guys were supposed to be here to gather it. To kind of go over like the notes that do come up, we have the description that killings are becoming more and more violent. It mentions that one of the main things that's happening, and like the way that they're kind of spotting Bola's group, who apparently is now calling themselves the Green Serpents, a bunch of the bodies have been mutilated one way or another. Things like it looks like the skin have been rubbed off with some sort of abrasive. Forearms have been split between the middle finger and the index finger all the way down here to put the radius and the ulna into 2 separate limbs. And sometimes eyes have been gashed to almost look like a serpent's eye.
That's
Has
fucking
there-
disgusting.
That's metal as fuck. Has there been a certain area the bodies were discovered, or is it just here and there?
Mostly north of Fay Pond. Roll a perception check for me.
you got it dead? 19 plus 11?
19.
30?
So, I imagine you're kind of walking through town. You're just kind of looking through these as you also just kind of like glancing up every now and again and just taking notes of things around you. There's a couple of things you gather. It is that definitely by the pond seems to be both the most busy area, but also close to the pond there's almost no one there. You also make out a couple of figures here and there. One of the things that really catches your eye is there is one figure, seems to be Ook. You're actually not too sure. He's wearing some sort of weird robes, and he's like kind of yelling at people as they like walk by. You're too far to really make out too many of the words, but he's yelling about like the end of the world coming. And the only people that are really paying attention, you notice, are like two guards quite a ways away who are just kind of like keeping their eye on this figure as he's just yelling at people and telling them the end is nigh.
Doomsayers?
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to find... Is there anyone I notice? Anyone I recognize from, like, the, when people came out of the town last night to help get the kid, is there anyone I notice from that small onslaught of people?
No. But you do remember that you were told that if you wanted, you're supposed to have a meeting with some of them rather early. If you need the names, it was Broderick specifically that was like, alright, we'll gather you in the morning. But besides that, you don't see any of the elves or the other two figures that were there. You know, it seems like they probably had a late night and they probably have other things going on. As this is rather early in the morning. We're going to say it's about 8 a.m., 7 a.m.-ish, you know, really, really early into the day.
I remember Broderick. The guards that I see walking around, is there any that are like definitively like a sheriff or like kind of higher up in the food chain?
You don't really notice anything that seems like out of place, like no one that's like super, super grand. But you do notice, like, from the two guys that are over there watching, you can make out that one of them probably has a higher position than the other just because his armor seems a bit more ornate. But you also notice, like, looking at the population within this town, most of them are elves. And you're really kind of unfamiliar with this. You know, the other places you guys have been at, which was Red Bay and then higher up Red River and stuff like that, it was elven. That is true, but there's also a larger mix. This one, however, is a lot more pure in the form of just elves. Looking at this, and like this is when you're kind of like looking around, no one here looks old. Everyone you would put, you know, from Yun, you knew a couple of elves, but not many, but it's just really hard to really tell who's the oldest here. You know, they all look very young, they all look very handsome, and it's just very elven in that sort of way. But you could probably say if you wanted to find one guard between those two, you could probably pick one of them, and it's just his armor seems more ornate than the other. Not leaps and bounds ahead, but there's something to it.
I think I'll go approach those two.
Alright. Meanwhile, Asya and Arod, you two are also making your way out of the tavern at this point, and you can see Shalasha is kind of heading off one way. Is there anything you two need to let me know as you kind of send your familiar off into the sky? Laden with supplies, so his flight's a little wonky, but he'll make it there.
I believe in Dottie.
We believe in you, Dottie! I'm sorry, I'm a little drunk.
Yeah, I noticed. Like, that did not take long at all, did it?
I think I'm developing a fear of heights.
I mean, I guess. Kind of understandable, you know?
Well, should we go off to the town? Do you got anything you want to do? Or should we just go bug solitaire?
I kind of want to find out some local rumors myself.
Ooh.
Like,
You make
we got some reports. I want to hear what other people have to say.
Sounds like a plan.
You can make an investigation or a persuasion check. And I'll kind of let you know how your rooting around goes. And Arod, if you're helping, you can roll as well, or AC can roll with advantage. You tell me.
AC can roll with advantage.
Ooh, thank you, my darling. Let's
Anything
go
to
with
help.
persuasion. You said is one.
Yep, persuasion or investigation.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with persuasion. I've got +5 in that. Okay, let's grab. It falls. 1 second, I dropped it. There we go. I found the AC specific D20.
And what do we got?
Ooh, a nat 20 and a 15, so 25.
25. All right. I'll
Yeah,
get
just
back
to,
to
like,
you.
Casually chat with some people, get some moves. You know, standing in line at
And
a
that was
food stall.
persuasion?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just
Shalashar,
trying to talk to locals.
you start moving towards these guards. Seems like the lower ranking one kind of notices you first, and he kind of like gets the attention of the other fellow, and they're just kind of having a nice conversation, but they're definitely like glancing over that way, which is the direction you're heading from. And he just kind of squares off towards you, make sure that you are approaching, and he just kind of falls back a little bit, and he kind of like motions for you to follow, and he's just kind of moving you a little out of the way, so then you guys aren't in direct line of sight of anyone else. And he just kind of looks you up and down, and you see he kind of like cocks his eyebrows if he's like waiting for something, and he gestures.
As I was approaching, I'd give like a typical elven greeting, just kind of a fairly formal bow. Good morning. Sorry to interrupt. I just noticed that you seemed like you'd be a good post for information gathering. Me and my comrades are actually here on behalf of the Millsworns, and we're supposed to be gathering some intelligence for them, trying to figure out some of the killings around here. Could you tell me anything about them? Do you know anything?
Make a persuasion check for me.
That is a 18 on the die, +3, -1, so that's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. He like, as I said, he kind of like moved you off to the side a little bit. He like looks past you and he gestures towards the figure over there and he goes, "Can't really say too much. I've just been keeping my eye around here." And again, as he's having this conversation, his eyes are definitely looking towards that figure. He goes, "But that fellow over there, I think he might know something. Things he's yelling about. Something's not sitting right. All we know is people have been vanishing. And suddenly we got more orcs showing up here than we've had in a while. Clans gathering to the north. Mola is up to something. At least that's what this one's saying. You can talk to him, but I think he's mad. Just making sure, watching, waiting. He's gonna do something. Just keep an eye on him. If you're working for Matthias, though, you should probably get on with him, have that conversation. You brought that boy in, didn't you?
Yeah, last night.
He's not doing too good. You have any diamonds? He's an adventurer. That kid might need them.
Unfortunately, I don't. We actually came here to,
You know anyone that could... If you care, you should definitely go talk to Broderick rather quickly. Something's... Again, I just work here. Something's going weird. Kind of waiting till Richard shows up to find out what he wants to do about his son, but...
Did he not come back last night?
As I said, this is a little beyond me. I think he went off with the carriage. I just gotta keep my eyes on this guy. Something... I don't want to be rude, but look. Just talk to him if you need it. Listen to the curfew sort of thing. You did a good thing getting that kid off that mountain, though. We appreciate it.
Trying to do our best. Couldn't let him suffer. His friends are with my other comrade, actually, and they should be on their way here today. But, I'll take a look around. I'll see what I can dig up. Thank you for your time.
No problem. Thank you for your service. And I'll kind of give you that little bow back, but...
I'll say goodbye in Elven and then kind of turn on my heel.
Alright. What's the next place you're thinking of heading as you, like, turn away from these guys?
I kind of would like, before I start, like, really digging up shit, I would like to go to the blacksmith and get all my armor repaired, because I look like, right now I look like a mulch bag of shit.
Alright, fair enough. Alright. So you got a... I'll get back to you. You can probably find a blacksmith. So, we'll see if you still want to do that, but I'm just going to jump back to these two. A-Rod. High or low?
Low.
Alright, so, Assy. You're kind of making your way through town with A-Rod. You guys are just kind of chatting people up. What sort of questions are you looking for?
I'm trying to overhear what people are saying, for starters.
So you
Like,
just want to drop Eves? That's not really a
I'm dropping
persuasion.
Eves, but like, I also take A-Rod with me a lot to stand at stalls of shops or like browse around shops a lot. And if I overhear two people talking about something, I'd be like, "I'm sorry, did you say that? Oh, that sounds so interesting."
Alright,
No?
make a...
Or like, if anybody says like, "Oh, did you hear like Richard's kid was brought back?" I'd be like, "You guys are talking about Richard's kid? My companion and I actually were helped with climbing down the mountain with him."
Alright, so you're kind of
He-
flashing
he-
some credentials sort of thing and just trying to get a general feel as to what's going on as well.
I want to hear what are the local rumors.
Alright.
What do people talk about?
Well, with that, not really a persuasion check, but I'll let it slide this time. There are a couple of things that you do gather. Some of the larger rumors going on are that apparently there is a figure here named Zap who runs the local study or like museum of the Fae, as he calls it. He owns a magic shop called the Fairy Tale. He's very interested in that. He's also very interested in grandchildren. If there are any kids in this town that still have grandparents, he loves interviewing these kids. He's just a big fan of that, and he thinks it kind of relates back to the Fae. Besides that, there are two orcs in town, Thraruk and Maz, and it sounds like they're also supposed to be having a meeting with the man in charge. Apparently a figure, a half-elf that goes by the name of Jandar. And it sounds like these two orcs, specifically Thraruk, is trying to get a relic back from the elves that is kept here in Fae Pond. Seems to be the biggest stirrings. Besides that, there is notice that the weather is not adding up. Things are far colder than it should be, and mentions of mud sharks or other Fae entities that have escaped from this place. There's another last rumor, since you got so high, a rumor of somebody who is having very bad luck, and people are specifically saying that he could be the envy of Tempia.
Okay.
Make a history check.
Yeah, envy of Tempia. Like, that sounds interesting. I think I've got something for that. I have +4 to history.
It can be arcane as well if you prefer.
That's 7 + 4, 11.
11.
Yeah.
All you know is Tempia is supposed to be the goddess of wars and arguments.
Okay.
So
okay.
you could guess that perhaps this figure is being very vocal lately, and he is elevating himself in such a way that even the goddess of arguments is a little envious of him, is what that could mean. But you're also really unsure about the entire implications of all of this. But as you're kind of having this conversation, you guys are making your way through town, you guys actually end up getting rather close to this figure, this doomsayer who is yelling about the town. And as you do, he actually, like, spots you, A-Rod, and he just starts, like, yelling at you, and he's going, "You see, they walk among us! He is here!" And he's, like, pointing to you, A-Rod in specific, as he's just yelling, and he's, like, starting to come towards you, and he's like, "Brother! Brother, come here!" And you guys notice at this time, he has the same or similar tattoos that A-Rod has on his face.
Oh shit.
What would you like to do as this figure is approaching you?
Ruh-roh Reggie.
I'm just gonna kind of put my hands up and like be like, whoa, 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 all right, buddy, just calm down, keep your voice down, let's all just relax.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh god. Alright, persuasion. I got a +5 in it, let's see what happens. Oh, a 19 on the die, a 24.
A 19. That he kind of like, he glances around and he like lowers his voice, but he's still approaching you guys, and he goes, "Yes, what are you doing here? Did he send you? Are there more?"
No, no one sent us, we're just here poking around, just as visitors. What are you doing here?
Spreading the word of Bola.
Of course you are. How lovely.
What do you mean? You have his mark as well? When was the last time you were back?
It's been a few years.
Well, but you're still proud of. What do you think? He looks a little taken aback, and he's kind of like trying to like figure out what exactly is going on here as the conversation gets a little odd.
He brought me here because I was interested in meeting this bull. I heard so much about him.
Ah, you brought another. Well, you should know that, especially. He's gathering everyone at the cavity. You should get there.
The cavity, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. Any idea what this gathering is for?
Of course I know what it's for. But I won't spoil it for you. You have to get there. Bola's gathering all that agree with him. He's going to lead us to great things.
Oh, of course. Bowler for life, man.
We should definitely head there after we pick up lunch.
Can you make a deception check for me?
Oh, God.
I'm serious. We should be heading there.
Wait, did you mean me or
A-Rod,
AC?
I want A-Rod. He's focused on you. AC, he's kind of like, he's brushed her back a little.
Whatever this bitch.
Yeah.
That bull.
Like,
Oh, hey.
Because I'm like, so like, yeah.
23.
23.
Nice.
Alright.
He definitely is a bit more skeptical, but then he just kind of nods his head and goes, "Alright, well, you take her and you get over there as quickly as you can."
Hey, you keep up the good work, buddy. Keep up with the shouting.
No, I'm just waiting. We got a couple more lined up, and if things don't go our way, I'll have a couple more for Bola when I head out of here. And he kind of like rubs his hands together. It'll be good. And he kind of like,
I'm excited for you.
he like claps you on the shoulder, like both, and he's smiling really large, and he's like, "It's gonna be a good year." And he moves back to where he was, and he starts yelling again, "He's coming! Bola will show us the way!" And he gets back to his little corner.
I quickly usher AC away. Thanks for backing me up, by the way.
Yeah, we should really deal with this. Have I noticed any shops that would like sell makeup, or any shops that would sell any sort of makeup, or even like places with like ink and sewing supplies?
Yeah, there's probably a couple, if you were so inclined. The spires themselves, since now you guys have been kind of looking around, the general layout, there seems to be 5 large structures. As I said, it is the spires. One is the fairy tale magic shop / study. which also seems like it has quite a bit of wizards or like learned folk scholars going in and out of it. There's another place which you can make out is probably the place where the mayor is. Next to that is some sort of guard or barracks place where there's quite a few, people stationed outside. Then there's the Grumpy Hornet Inn, and then the last one seems to be some sort of theater or more of a large space. You guys maybe have like walked by there, looked at it. It's the last one is the most undecorated, shall we say. Besides that, there's also, as I said, fanning out from this, more orc sort of shops, and you get more into that sort of thing.
How much do you trust me?
With my life.
How attached are you to those monkeys?
Ooh, fairly attached. But if we can avoid another incident like that, I always knew it would come to this. I knew someone.
I got 2 ideas. 1, we can put makeup on and be careful. 2, we can either like see if there's any like orcish tattoo artists. Like I saw some really cool stuff they've done in the past, and really, I'm sure they'd love a chance to cover up some elven shit. Or we can get some ink and I can try my hand at it.
You know what? Why don't you try your hand at it?
Okay.
No, it's you want to get the stuff for tattooing.
I want to get like just like basic shit for it,
Alright. You got it. So you guys will be off and doing that sort of thing.
Yep.
We can go into these in detail, or I could tell you roughly what the supplies will cost. Same with you, Shalasha, and I'm going to jump over to Cole. So
Yeah, just
Yep, that's fine.
we'll start with you, Shalasha. You just want to get your armor pretty much repaired, and you're wearing scale mail, correct?
Yeah, and because of the fact that I'm going to be changing out of basically all my armor, same thing. I'm just going to use thaumaturgy. Just gonna make a wall, like a cocoon of shadows. I'm going to change into my cloak and plague doctor mask. So, here's my armor. I'll be back.
Okay, so it's going to take you a while to don and to doff this, if we will, as you're doing this, and it's you. So you probably end up going to. You can either check out a place in the spire or one of the oak things. Does that matter to you at all?
Was Roderick human or an elf?
Roderick was human.
Roderick. Okay.
One of the only humans you've seen in this place.
I think I'll probably check the spire because that's most likely they'll have communication with Broderick. I'm just gonna search.
No, you would have found it in like the last spire. As I said, the one that's more open, it's actually used as a bit of an open market sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like the elven one would probably have more of a direct line to Broderick for him to confirm that we're here and that they told me that they'd fix up my armor.
Alright, fair enough. The other thing you notice as you are in this place, this is also a medical facility for things related to the Fae. And you notice quite a few odd little things, like there's one half of the place which is like markets and like a couple of things, it's not an overly large area, but then there's the other like quarter or 1/3 of this place that is just separated with curtains, and you see people with holy symbols walking in and out of these.
So the blacksmith, is in the marketplace or like nearby?
In this market space within this spire. It's a very odd. It's like it wasn't fully designated as something, so people just kind of use it, for different things. So you will find an elven blacksmith in there who is willing to work on your armor, and after you kind of explain what's going on, he goes, alright, well, we'll send you a bill to Broderick then, if you want to name him. Or if not, you can pay. It's scale, so it'll be like, about 5 gold.
Well, it's gonna be like my full mask and everything, because basically everything just got fucking shit waffled.
it might be a bit more expensive. We'll see how long
Yeah.
this will take
So it's
to
like,
work on.
hey, Richard told me that you could help me.
Okay, yeah, and do you want us to bill him, or do you want to pay for this?
I do have a meeting with him later this morning at some point. So if you don't mind sending the bill to him, I can communicate on that end with him, and either I'll pay or if you're willing to levy the charges.
Well, if you want, you can pay up front, and then you can take it up with him.
Do I recognize the blacksmith? Like, is it an independent blacksmith, or is it kind of like a chain?
It seems to be independent. You can tell they're a blacksmith because they have an anvil set up, and they have like a bunch of different tools right behind them, and they have some sort of furnace that looks like it vents out of this spire, or at least into the wall somehow. It looks like it's quite odd where it meets the wall and almost like spirals and weaves itself into the other strands of metal that make up this place. You'll
Okay.
know like a steel cable how it's like wound together.
Mhm.
That's very similar to how these walls look. It's just a bunch of metal strips that just kind of come together and tighten or loosen in certain spots to make entrance for other metal strips.
I'll probably just pay up front. It's not a problem.
Alright, well, your mask is quite ornate. Whoever did this, fantastic. It's going to take me quite a bit of time, but I can manage this in a decent thing. Get it done by the end of the day. It'll be about 15 gold.
That's fine. 15 is fine.
I'll take that from you, and that'll be that. Meanwhile, Assy and A-Rod, you guys are off looking for things. Similar question. What part of town do you want to look for? We keep them to the spires, we're going to the more outskirts where it gets a bit more oakish.
I'm thinking a bit more oakish.
Fair enough.
It strikes me as the type of people that would know how to do a good tattoo.
They do. There's quite a few prominent tribes within this place, as well as thousands of other tribes with their own things, but most of them are known for marking themselves one way or another. Tattoos is firmly within the Orcish culture.
Given my history, would I have an idea of a place to start looking for equipment?
I wouldn't say you need equipment, that's what he's saying. You'll be able to find them, though.
Supplies,
You don't need a history to find this. You'll figure it out, and soon enough, you do find a nice, Orcish shopkeeper. Looks like they kind of work out of their house, and they have like their shop out in front, almost like a forever yard sale, if you will. They even have a chair set up, and they're like currently like they have someone in there, and they're like hammering some ink in, stick and poke style. But you're able to have a nice conversation with them as they're working, and they kind of just ask you, well, what sort of colors are you looking for? Have you done this before? Do you need, what do you need from us to get this done?
I've never done it before, but my man, he's got some work that he wants covered up. Sometimes people, they do stuff in life, they want to change it up,
Okay.
Hey, it's me. I'm the friend.
I see. Looks like you got stuff done before. You handle that well.
Oh yeah, it was a breeze.
Breeze. Okay, don't need any. Just kind of like steps away from his client, and he goes over and starts digging through things. Then he starts picking stuff out, and he starts putting it up. What colors?
Colors you want there?
Let's go with green.
Green is already what you have.
We get
Yeah. It's like dark green.
we get
That's hard to
different-
cover. We could add with green. You need black to cover.
we get some black, a similar green, and then a lighter green that I could use while I'm adding stuff around it.
Okay. And he starts pulling this up. You good with hammer?
Oh yes.
Okay. And he puts a little mallet on, puts a couple of needles in what seems to be a very large stem foot that you can like put the needles in and tap rather easily. And then he puts on a couple of other things that will like let you hold like multiple needles at a time. don't get an infected. You can use he just reaches under and he pulls out another little piece of paper which has like a couple of like little notes and stuff on it. Handbook. You read Orcish?
I do not.
Read
Oh,
Orcish.
that's not good then.
Common, Elven, Dwarvish. Thieves can't.
You know Dwarvish. You can get through this just fine.
Yeah.
Same alphabet. Ignore this one. And he just kind of like generally tells you like, similar thing, this means this, this means this. And he gives you like the most short-handed how to read Orcish if you know Dwarvish sort of thing. And you're like, I could maybe make my way through this.
I know. I picked Primordial when I fucking leveled in Bard. I should have picked Orcish instead.
Whoopsie.
Considering we live in we're in fucking Char.
Alright, but with that, you think you have everything good to go, and at least some level of helpful manual.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it'll be fine. We can figure it out. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine.
it's fine.
Probably it's fine.
Alright. Meanwhile, Cole, you have now been on the road for quite a while. It's still definitely early, but how early would you want to have gotten started? How fast are you driving this group? What is kind of Cole's intentions now that he is more or less alone in the wild? As you are going, you will realize that Thilby is rather talkative. He has a kind of boisterous personality if you're willing to let him go. And he talks as if he knows his way around. He seems competent enough, but just not tempered in anything that he does. He's all spirit and just, I got this, I can make this work. And Basher, she's definitely taking more of the backseat, and if you won't entertain his conversation, she's maybe more than happy to, or at least she puts on a brave face and listens to him as he gets going. But we're talking about you, so what are your intentions as you're kind of guiding these two through these woods?
Easy pace. Maybe occasionally muttering something to myself about stupid fear of heights. Basically just letting Philby natter on, though.
Alright. We should get to the road. You know there's a road over there, right? We should probably take that and get out of these woods.
How far away are we from the road?
Looking at your map, it depends on which way you want to go. You could either go directly foot and hit it within half an hour. You could try to meet it up ahead. It has a bit of variance that way. But you definitely need to either take the detour now or try to find the road later.
How much faster would it be, Philby?
Well, it's just more of if people are looking for us, they'll find us on the road better than this. And on top of that, you know, my boots are a little nice. We could, you know, mud through it, but look at Basher. She's rather short, don't you think? And she's like, oh, fuck you. And it's like, logs will slow us down.
I'm shorter and I handle logs just fine.
It's alright. You know, when she gets on top of them, and she's again just like, fuck you. She has trouble getting off. Fear takes over, you know.
Fine. We'll go to the road.
Oh, fantastic. You made a smart decision. With that kind of
Just sharpening your spear, staring at his back like, this
Axe
motherfucker's
now.
gonna die.
axe now. Right, so with that, you will be walking on the road. Maybe makes you guys a little bit faster, but
Fucking.
you got a 4 and a 5, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm lucky I'm a good person, or I would have shoved you over the cliff.
Alright.
Love it.
So, on this road, as you're kind of following it, this road is Make a perception check for me, actually, as you are the only one here.
Oh, yay. Oh, wow. That's weird.
It wasn't a 1.
It's a 2.
Plus 1. It's a 19.
19.
Don't you fucking lie to me.
Wow. That's actually pretty good.
That is
it's-
the opposite of what he does.
You're with these people, and you're kind of in the lead. Thilby definitely behind you. He's just talking this entire time. But you kind of notice, like, off on the side of the road, there's once
I'm making sure they both stay on Fluffy,
on Fluffy.
just in case.
Okay, so you're keeping them on Fluffy. Alright, so you're kind of guiding them, holding onto the reins of your noble steed, shall we say. Thilby just yattering on. Basha looks like she's rather gifted at, like, sleeping with her eyes open. Or at least she has that glazed look as he's just going. Doesn't seem to dampen his spirits at all, but you notice off on the side of the road, there's one spot where the bunch of the grass is just kind of flattened, as if, like, some people have headed off of the road at this place.
Philby, keep it down for a little bit.
Just kind of looks at you a little, like, taken aback and goes, I'm being quiet.
No, shut up.
Oh, fuck. He talks a little quieter. Nothing. I can't. I can't.
Shut up, or I swear to God I will slap you. See that grass over there? Shh. Shh. Shut up.
Do you want me to?
I'm just gonna... Shh.
I'm gonna try.
We're just gonna quietly pass by.
Okay. Can you make a stealth check?
Oh yeah, disadvantage for me.
If the kids didn't give you disadvantage, your armor definitely did.
Well, if I wasn't wearing the armor, that could have been a natural 20, but it's a
What?
14.
A 14.
Yeah.
It's not terrible. You kind of keep making your way down past this, scanning off into the woods. You don't notice anything particularly threatening. So you don't think, like, if something went off to the road or there's something waiting, after a couple of minutes you feel like you've probably got through it without being spotted. And you did manage to keep Thilby quiet. So that is another bonus for you. And actually, you're able to, if you want, keep this game going for a while.
I was about to say, yes, I'm absolutely going to try that.
Play the quiet game for as long as you want. High or low?
Hi.
High. Alright. I'll be getting back to you with that. Alright. Back at Fay Pond. What are you guys doing now that you've kind of gotten your tattoo supplies, you got your armor, you're walking around Shell, and now your finest dancing clothes with the most... You stick out like a sore thumb. I mean, this is the mask you made and the outfit you made to draw attention to yourself. And Assi and Arod, if you guys want, you would also spot him strutting around bright as hell compared to his usual dark armor.
You know how in like a lot of fucking anime and everything, you see those really nice tuxedos or those nice dress clothes that have that like curled curtain tail?
Yeah, this isn't that.
No, I imagine that's what my cloak is like.
It is that.
Like,
Oh my god.
as extra as you can think, with a gold fucking plague doctor mask with like hella crown. It's weird.
Yeah, like, he almost looks like the sun with a plague doctor mask. Like I said, if you guys want, you could see Shalashar in this moment.
Roll with advantage to find me.
I thought I stuck out like a sore thumb here.
I know, right?
Now that I've kind of left everything with the blacksmith, what time of day is it?
It's still early. We're getting closer to, we'll say, 10 a.m. sort of thing. You guys have wasted a couple of hours walking around having some conversations. You know, nothing too crazy. It's still early if you want it to be.
Did I get any sort of inclination from Broderick as to when he wanted to get us for the meeting? Like,
He said as soon as you guys were ready.
okay. So then I'll probably just try and find the two of them, and actually I'll just reach up and touch my earring, and I'll send a message off to AC. Yeah, I'm just down near the main strip here, near the pond. Should we head to Broderick soon?
I gave my earring to Cole.
Oh, okay. Then I would have sent.
Whatever
Then I would have
message
sent
you
it
gotta send
to
me.
A-Rod?
A-Rod. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we see you. Strutting your stuff.
Damn,
We're over
boy.
here. And I'll wave my arms.
No, I'll wait. You pull that. I've like taken like a cloth that used to be. It could have been a shawl or it could have been a tablecloth. You're not sure, but I've like wrapped it over your head, and then around. Trying to hide.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's
down. I'll wait.
Ah,
I wait.
all right.
My head. I'm like short as shit. Like I'm under 5 feet.
I'll
A bit to get above the crowd.
talk over.
Alright.
I think we should probably head to Broderick's now, don't you think?
We have to do something first.
What?
And I'm gonna like whisper to you really quietly. You would not believe the fucking weirdos that don't recognize this shithead because of his tattoos. Yeah.
Really?
It's okay. I've got an idea. And it's really great that you're here because once I do it, you can heal it up.
I suppose.
So I'm gonna drag both of them back to the rooms that we're staying in.
Alright. One thing
Gonna-
that does happen is when you guys walk back into the Grumpy Hornet, there's actually
Yeah.
a guard in there who's like, just the people I was looking for. And he kind of comes towards you.
Sorry, well, I was just out and about. I was actually thinking about going to see Broderick soon, so
Well, I was
good time.
actually just sent to fetch you. So if you guys have nothing else going on, let's not keep him waiting, shall we?
Not a problem. Please, after you.
Fine.
Don't look too close at the armor.
Alright. So he actually takes you guys up quite a ways, like past your rooms, and he gets to one of these doors. He swings it open and it like lets off into the bridge. And with that, he starts taking you guys over to the left. You walk through what seems to be a barracks, and you can hear the sounds of, like, you know, some people training below you. It kind of has this weird kind of metallic echo as like steel rings against steel and then reverberates up these walls. Yes?
Out of curiosity, just because world building question, the metal that the elves use, they shape the bridges, they make these beautiful spires. Does steel is this like typical steel where it heats up in the sun? Like, would these things be ungodly hot on a hot day, or are they?
I
It's like-
would ask you to touch it, but you don't really have nerve endings for that sort of thing. But I will say, from what you've been able to gather over your time, people seem to live comfortably within these. Whatever it is, it seems to have some sort of protection within it, so it doesn't fry people when they touch it.
You're living in a giant fucking frying pan.
You can make
Okay.
a history check, actually, if you're trained in it.
History. I actually am. I have that's +4, so that's a 16.
16. You are aware, as I said, that there is some sort of magic that does protect this, but there are also mentions of some places that you've read about where they have used the opposite effect, and they've even like heated up these to stop people from like scaling the walls and stuff. If there is, usually, from your understanding, some of the older fortifications usually have some sort of archmage involved in keeping these towers and maintaining the duemos or the enchantments upon them. And there are indeed stories of mages using these to channel things like lightning bolts or using heat metal to tremendous effect and stuff like that. A very well-trained mage can do a lot of things with these sorts of spires, these towers.
That's pretty cool.
But anyways, you guys go another spire off to the left, and you actually come into what seems to be a very nice waiting room. There's several chairs here and there, but this guy just takes you up to the spiral staircase, and you guys go higher up into this spire. And eventually, you're taken into what seems to be a nice office. Within this office, there's a very large... You think it's a window, but a window would need to have glass in it. Instead, it's just a very large open space, and there's just other 5 pillars that kind of connect this place, and it has a roof that domes off overhead as you guys are at the very top of this spire. Besides that, there's several little bookcases, but they're very short, and there's a table in the center, which seems like it's almost like 2 C's. You know what I'm saying? So you have 1 C and another C, and they're just kind of like this, right? One guy is sitting on one side, and then besides that, people have like arrayed themselves, or at least chairs have been arrayed around it. There's a very proper looking elf gentleman. He has blonde hair, it's braided over his shoulder, and he is adorned with several rings, necklaces, all of which are metal or steel, the very similar material that kind of, well, that makes up this spire. And you see as well, all of his jewelry is also braided in some way. And you can see he has several notes around him. Besides that, there is a very familiar, thick human. You know, he has a very powerful build. His hair is black and it is buzz cut short, and he seems like he has no weapons on him. But the more astute among you, Arod and Shalashal, you can make out what seems to be a very large axe that's kind of scooted underneath the table right by his feet as you guys come into this space. As I said, bookcases around here. Everything, however, is cut short so that nothing obscures the view from this tower, this spire, and you're able to very clearly see the same towers, similar design at the top. Not all of them are open in this way, and besides this, Phaepon just goes up. It's actually a very, well, not very, it's a somewhat expansive town. You know, much bigger than, for instance, Stone Bluff. Maybe on par with that of Millscar in size, but not volume. It's sparsely laid out. Definitely, you know, it goes off for a long ways, but the buildings just get fewer and fewer, and it just kind of pitters off into nothing at some point. But as you guys come into this, the elf just kind of raises his hand. The guy that was escorting you just gives him a bow and kind of escorts himself out. And then the elf just kind of points the other thing and goes, "Thank you for joining us. I believe you've already met Broderick. I'm Janda. I'm in charge of this beautiful city."
Nice to meet you.
A pleasure.
I'll give a deep elven bow. Show of respect.
First things first, I already did my due diligence of making sure as to why you are here, and that what you told us was correct. And he just kind of reaches under the table and he pulls out a very large chest, and he just kind of turns it around, opens it, starts counting out through several bags, and then he just looks at you guys. He puts several bags out on the table, closes the chest, and sets it back underneath.
We do have one more comrade. He's guiding the other young ones home.
Okay, we're going to need to rebalance these. And he just pulls them back. With a lump sum worker, I'll need to redistribute these a little bit. The agreed upon amount was 6,000 gold, I believe.
We were just
6,000 gold.
we were just told that we'd get money upon arrival. We weren't given a definitive amount.
6,000.
Yeah, we can divide it up amongst ourselves.
Very well. And he pushes these bags out towards you.
I'll like take them and like pocket them away for now.
It's an interesting trick.
Let's
Now,
do it.
next
Right.
thing, and I do hate to say this, but do any of you have any diamonds or anything of that? Or are you, any of you, particularly skilled at discerning the value of such things?
Very good at
Actually-
that, actually. That's my whole life growing up.
Fantastic. He reaches and he pulls out another larger chest, well, about the same size but much more ornate in appearance. And he starts pulling out several different bags and he goes, I need to know at which point we get to 500 gold worth of diamond dust. And he
Yeah.
Well, is he?
pushes it towards you. Well, I believe they said they want to use Greater Restoration, but they don't have it on hand, so it's kind of coming from me, and then
I could use less restoration. I could stabilize him. I can stop the decay.
I was told that would not do, and they specifically need this amount to save this lad's life. Now, we can pay for it, we just don't have any way of discerning how much. And you kind of got to be exact with these sorts of things.
I just start like weighing it out. Like I've got I've got like some basic jewel crafting supplies with me. So I'm assuming like I have enough stuff that I can like.
Make a d20 and add your proficiency bonus.
And actually, for my background, one of the item I chose for the archaeologist was actually a mask made of diamonds. So I'm not certain if that's applicable in this situation.
I'll look into that for you.
And for what it's worth, I've spent my better part of my life in and around caves, dungeons, that sort of thing. So I'm a very trained archaeologist. They can do diamonds and the like. I can do treasures, stonework, masonry, pretty much anything else.
So, you saw where I grew up.
Yeah, you have a very nice home.
We can do the measuring aside of certain body parts, but please, we just need to get this down to the next tower over, so...
I've got an 18 on the die. No, sorry, 18 in total, 15 on the die.
Think you kind of measure it out as you kind of divide through this. You use a little scale that you pull out and just kind of weigh it. And then you think you get it. And he kind of looks over your shoulder, scoops it back into a bag, walks over to the edge of the tower.
Just
And
throws
you
it
see
over.
he's like making eye contact with someone, and then he picks it up, and you watch as he does throw it, but as it like leaves his hand, it almost like elongates, and you see he like uses the catapult spell to just send this thing across to the other tower on the far side. Well,
Oh,
with that dealt with, and he turns around, and Broderick is just kind of sitting there. You know, he hasn't said much as Janda takes his seat. Now, I was told that money was for you guys to come here and look into things. I've paid you ahead of time for your arrival. Matthias didn't really give me a lot of information, so why don't you tell me what it is you're doing here and what it is you offer? Now, we are willing to trade information, but we just kind of need to get a better understanding as to what's going on here.
From flipping through the book, there wouldn't be any sensitive information in there.
That's up to you to decide. You just got the notes on how things are.
Information.
Very quickly, do you have proficiency with the disguise skit, Assy?
I have thieves' tools. I have like my crafting supplies, like jewel crafting supplies.
Okay, so you're not proficient with the disguise kit?
No,
Cool, can you roll a d20 for me?
I do have a lot of practice
No,
with
no,
patterns, and
it's-
I would stick to ones
It's
that are
fine.
familiar.
Just roll the d20. Why is everyone so weird all of a sudden?
it's literally how you say it. You're like, great,
add
perfect. Roll that die.
Huh?
Like my dexterity or anything.
No, it's fine. Just the d20.
'Cause that's a 7.
A 7. So, as Charlotte says, kind of like going through this and stuff, Roger kind of like clears his throat and he goes, "Isn't that?" And he like points towards A-Rod, who has this scarf and is not fully covering his face. Think they do have something that they could tell us. And he kind of gestures, have you guys sat down or anything, or what exactly are you guys doing within this room?
I'm still standing.
I think I'm standing. I'm kind of like rooting around in my bag for the book, and I'm just kind of flipping through.
Why don't you come over here, lad? Have a seat next to me. Sure, we could talk about something. Looks like you probably know a bit more than the rest of us, if you feel like sharing.
I'm gonna reach up and touch my ear gently, so I'm like flipping through, and I send messages like, "Play it dumb. You got it when you were a stupid kid. You don't know what it means."
I'll just kind of give my shoulders a little roll. I'll just take off the scarf.
I'll nearly fall because I was leaning against his side. But catch myself real quick, try and play it off.
And I'll have a
Fantastic.
seat.
So, alright, so you have a seat. Is anyone else sitting? I see you stumble. You do manage to catch yourself, though.
I continue to like stay where I am.
Alright, so the rest of you
Like
just...
I'll move forward a little bit and like lean one hip against somebody else's chair, but like still stand there.
Okay. Now,
Because if I sit down, I will fall asleep.
so Broderick just starts and he goes, "So, you could probably tell us a bit more as to what's going on here." And then Jandar just kind of picks up the conversation. He goes, "Hold on. Let's just get their story first. Now, I believe you guys are here. Why?" And then we'll get to... Sorry, what's your name? And he turns towards you, A-Rod.
I'm A-Rod Flystone. Pleasure to meet you. And I'll hold out my hand.
You know, reach out and he'll shake your hand. So let's just set some ground rules first, figure out what exactly is going on here. Then we'll get to everything else, and perhaps even a couple of options going forward as to what's going on. Do you all have a leader? Is this everyone? You said you have one more. Is he arriving?
He should be arriving a little bit later.
I've been in a day or more. Like he's walking down a mountain with kids.
He does have his noble steed with him, so it might expedite a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still...
Yes. So he's with the kids. So he'll probably be here later tonight. We sent a rather fast carriage. We have several of them mercenaries in our employ during these trying times. And I'm assuming that that is one of the reasons you're here, is to help with one of our largest growing problems.
Yeah, we were asked by Matthias to come here and investigate the situation regarding the murders. I know there's been a lot of brutality, a few bodies showing up here and there. I've gathered a little bit of information. I know that they've been happening mostly on the north end. It has something to do with Bowler, whatever he's dealing with predominantly. So we were actually asked to come here and get as much information we could and try and help resolve things.
And okay, well, if that's simple, he just kind of like looks towards you, A-Rod, and Broderick just kind of, grabs the conversation again. He just kind of clears his throat. So that's all you know then. Then why don't you start talking? Tell us a little bit about what exactly is going on here. All we know is people have not been doing too well when they cross his path, and suddenly we have some people, and he glances over in the direction. And even up here, those of you with a higher perception can just vaguely make out the sounds of him yelling. He's coming!
Yeah, we heard you guys had a bit of a snake problem.
We're here to solve it.
And how you want to do that?
Well, we know there's something going down at the cavity. Bullard's gathering up a bunch of people. Don't know for what yet.
Well, might go a
Okay.
little farther. A-Rod, roll a persuasion check for me.
Okay. Persuasion. Ooh, proficient. 19.
19. So as you begin saying this, Jandar actually kind of cuts across you a little bit, and definitely as soon as he does, he looks a little taken aback by his own actions as he starts speaking, and he goes, "It's a bit beyond just that. We had another meeting a little earlier, and didn't quite go as planned. It seems as though Bola is gathering quite a few people to his banner, shall we say. Most of the Oak clans have started gathering. There's quite a bit of something going on there." And Roderick just kind of cuts off again, and he just goes, "We should just have him killed." And Jandar
Wait,
just
what?
begins, he goes, "Well, maybe we can talk with him. Maybe we can reason with Bola." And Roderick goes, "Telling you, something like this, it's best to just grab it by the stem, pull it out, roots and all."
Well, I'm not in disagreement.
Have you met Bola before then? When you got... He just kind of gestures towards his face.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Does he strike you as a reasonable man?
4? No. He changed whenever I used to be part of the Red Rabbits, now the Green Serpents. But, he changed a lot of things when he took grab power. He's not anything that I've ever seen before. I have no idea what's going on with them at the moment. We're actually here to investigate that, and if possible, I would love to take a crack at him.
Well, you guys think you can deal with this on your own? You need help? You tell me. And Jandar just kind of speaks up, and he's trying to like get this conversation back, and you can tell he's getting a little bit flustered as he just kind of literally switches his hand down in front of Broderick to cut him off, and he just goes, "How about we just take this slow? You guys tell us what it is you want to do. We'll take it from there. We'll have a little bit of back and forth. We don't need to talk about killing anyone just yet. You just tell us what you think is best going forward, and we'll see if we can help in any way. Let's not get too hasty here."
I'm not originally from here. I'm actually from Yun. Not familiar with the surrounding territory. Can you tell me about the physical layout of the chasm? Is it a ravine, canyon, cave?
Chasm?
The cavity.
Cavity, sorry.
That I've never been there. It's something rather new. He kind of starts reading through the papers in front of him. Then he just starts reading from one. Structure spotted, seems new. Looks as though it was made about 2 months ago. At best, they've just been gathering things to it. It's a growing thing. It's a new structure though, somewhere off in the woods. He kind of like pushes a map towards you guys, and it is marked, but not like clearly marked. It's just kind of like a giant circled area. It's someplace within these woods. They couldn't really fully figure it out. They were kind of spotted and ended up having to abscond rather quickly.
I think it'll be of our best interest, and by extension your best interest, if we go there. I think getting some intelligence on it might be very important.
This is a
Surely,
delicate area, and
I may.
regardless, hold on, you need to understand the ramifications, the implications of everything involved here, as much as my friend, my compatriot has said, you could just deal with him. But, as I said, he's been gathering quite a few people there. We've had some meetings earlier in the day. We don't really want to add energy to this. It could go badly.
That's why I believe that we should go there and investigate. We're not going to stick our noses in. We're not going to go in guns blazing. We're going to be there to listen and understand what we can. We're here on Matthias's behalf. We're not going to kick over the hornet's nest.
Okay.
If I may, Arod and I already have an opportunity to get in there, figure out what they actually want to do, what they're talking about, get in and get out easily, we are hoping. And then we can let you guys know.
We can send others with you. As I said, we do have another mercenary company in our employ, if you're interested.
Too many bodies.
Yeah, I think more people would be a problem.
3 or 4 people, that's fine, but if there was 8, it's gonna start looking weird.
It
I
would be
think
8.
we'd have
I
to go with 2.
believe it's a group of 4.
With A-Rod, with the tattoo, he at least has some understanding of how they used to be. We might be able to slip in a little bit more unnoticed if we're by his side. Or if it's 4 people that are seemingly unconnected at all.
It's going to have to be 2.
Well, okay. They might be involved later in the process, though, as we have already paid for their services, or have negotiated terms of payment, and they seem rather set on that. They would be here with this conversation, but they instead had to be sent off for the
Then I
retrieval of your
think-
other member.
If they're insistent on doing the job and being paid, we can have them as a secondary.
Well, you
We
could
can
have
go
a
there.
conversation. They will be returning with your friend tonight, actually, hopefully.
AC A-Rod, did you get any information on when the meeting at the cavity is?
Yeah, we'll tell you about it later.
Later, Roger kind of clears his throat. This could be important. We've told you everything we know.
Yes, but if it gets around that people are letting everybody know where this meeting is, that's supposed to be a little more invite only, could go badly for us being the newest invitees.
I don't...
Basically, if there's a mole.
A mole.
That's what the implication is.
Broderick definitely kind of like looks a little taken aback as he like kind of sits up in his chair. You're telling me that in a meeting with him and me, there's a mole, and you 3 are gonna have a conversation separate because you don't trust us.
I
It is
just don't know who you would tell.
I don't know who you would tell, ma'am.
Nobody. Because
see, I
if
don't
I
think-
go there and they hear that people have been blabbing, we're going to be the ones that get killed.
You can keep your
We're all-
secrets.
We're all on the same side here. We're all on the same
don't
side
think-
here.
I think while it's only us in this room, I don't think keeping your cards too close to your chest is necessarily the best option. They are offering us resources and backup.
That's fine.
They're not sending us into the fire.
You can be cagey. It's just a little weird that you're a little cagey and suddenly it's just the 2 of you heading off there. How do we know you're not going back there with your tattooed friend here? Just kind of tip him off a little bit. You know, now that I'm thinking about it,
And I'm gonna pull the tattooing equipment out. We had plans to cover up his markings before people could notice him, but unfortunately he was noticed before we could get to that step.
AC, out of character. It sounds a little suspicious that we're trying to cover up his markings. It's like, wait, he's a fucking sleeper agent. Don't look.
It's alright, we'll get
We
there.
left that a long time ago.
Yeah. I'll do a little looking into that, but you keep your secrets. You know, matter of fact, I think I've had enough of this conversation. I said what I needed to say. I got other things to deal with. Starting with getting that son of a bitch out of my town. And he, like, glances over out the window again. Then he just kind of pushes himself up, reaches under the table, and pulls out his axe. And he, like, makes out for the door.
Well, that went well.
Jandar's just kind of there. He's like, he's a little forward in his approach.
I mean,
But I'm told that humans often have their heart in the right place.
they don't understand the sophistication and the amount of effort ourselves put into our day to day. We have much longer to be pensive over things.
Always in a rush, humans. Always in a rush.
Well, at the very least, you know, I don't really have much to say on the subject. I've been told it's best to listen to all sides and just kind of balance things as best as possible. You know, don't judge too quickly.
Well, we can assure you that we're no allies of Bowler, so you have nothing to worry about. We'll do our best. We'll get in there quietly. We'll see what we see. We'll report back.
Well, I'm just not looking. Do you mind meeting with the other group and coming to terms with them? You know, just
Not a
settle it
problem.
amongst yourselves.
I've been a traveler a long time. I have no problem with working with other groups.
They have a carriage, correct?
Yes.
What does it look like?
It's nice. It's blue. It has horses. It's a very nice group. I believe their leader is Domond.
What were they all? What were all of them? What did they look like?
That's a little profiling. Don't you think? It's
Oh, I'm just asking because I think we already met them.
Well, Domond himself, he's half elf, long brown hair shaved on one side, very fond of his wands.
Yep.
He
We
was
met them.
the only one I really met.
They robbed me.
But,
Go in here.
again, I don't want to get involved in all of this. You mercenaries have your life, I have my life. I just run town, I keep things running smoothly, but I'm sure you can all come to terms. I would
Yeah.
suggest you do it amicably, peacefully.
The only thing amicable is I'm gonna bite my tongue. We're here for a job.
Good. I appreciate that professional attitude. I will remind you that I do keep everything running smoothly, but at the end of the day, Broderick is in charge of the safety of the town, and as you see, his methods are a little more straightforward in his dealings. So just definitely keeping the peace, unless you want to talk with him or have a conversation separately. That's between you and him, but I would definitely say if we're able to, just follow the curfew and everything will be fine. Things tend to just blow over more often than not. So what are you going to say with Bola? Are we just going to ask him politely to leave? Or are we going to have a conversation when you guys return?
I don't think talking to him. I think we need to keep a low profile.
Well, I
So-
thought these two wanted to go in there. Is diplomacy not the goal?
Well,
No, it's poking our noses around more than anything.
We don't know
Oh,
if they're behind the killings. We don't know anything. So the point is, we need to go there, not draw attention to ourselves, so we can get as much information and get out. Probably Kerr and I will sit back. You two can actually enter. We'll sit nearby and kind of lie in wait. If you need reinforcements, we're there. but we'll just keep an eye out.
But
I
we
might
will,
be able to just walk freely.
but there will be a debriefing between all of us when you get back, correct?
Of course.
Of course.
Fantastic. Okay.
We
Well-
may, depending on the time it happens, it may be after curfew, though. So, on the north side of town, presumably if the cavity is over there, you might want to let your guards know that we may be coming back late.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. You did that last time with that owl. Perhaps you could do that again.
Dottie is
Now,
very useful.
and now that you know, you could send him to this tower, or you could send any points over to the spire to the right. That one specifically is Broderick's tower. So either of the two will get the note directly to our hands. Besides that, there's anything else we can help you with or anything like that? Zap, he points over to the tower to his left. Actually, sorry, he points over to the one across from him. No, it is the one to his left. He points over to the one to his left. Zap, perhaps if you feel like spending some gold, could help get you some materials.
I had an expert, or at least a so-claimed expert on the Fae in this area.
Oh,
Is that
he
correct?
definitely is. Zacharias is very, very gifted at the things that he does.
For the most part, I already sent my armor in to be fixed. I don't think I need... Oh, I will need to get a new shield and shovel, since I left mine in the mountain.
Broderick's tower would probably be the best for that. They keep more of
Is
the
that-
material sort of things.
Is that where the sparring was taking place? The drills?
Yes, that is the barracks.
Cool.
It's if it helps, you can kind of think of the towers as a representation of something. Broderick's tower is, for instance, the material thing. So you have blacksmiths there, then you get into the training, then eventually you get more into the brass, or like the guards or stuff like that. That's why it's exactly next to the Hornet. The Hornet being the biggest inn, so you have a place for people to come, to drink, a social space, then you get into lodgings, and when you get into the top, you get more into...
Grand suites.
I don't want to bore you with this, but just, it's more of a social space. Then you get to the oddities, Zap's tower, and he points over to the left, that's more for magic and that sort of thing. And then the last spire is... Fairies, guards, blacksmiths, haunted, and... No, that is all of them. That is... Oh, the last one. That's just for the oddities. Things that are a little bit more unexplained, but as well, we welcome guests there, so you get traveling merchants that show up there, as well as the others that don't really have a place within the other towers, whether they're unregistered or just passing through. As well as if you find any weird maladies or anything, best to go there. There's quite a few clerics or studiers. You can also find those in Zaf's tower as well, but getting in there is difficult sometimes, unless you have an invitation for the higher levels.
You seem like one of the most pleasant few here. I understand that it's a little jarring coming from Yun coming here. There's a lot of like elven nationality and pride.
You see, make an insight check.
17 on the die plus 5, so 22.
He definitely wrinkles his nose a bit when you say Yun.
Okay, that kind of tells me all I needed to know. It just seems a little odd that people are given such a wide berth here. Anyone who's not elven by birth is a little ostracized.
Well, I mean, you need to. You understand elves are rather good against charms. Other people this close to the Fae usually don't do so well.
Which is fair. I'm not super familiar with the Fae. I'm just trying to
You should
understand.
have seen what it was like before the portal was closed. People would just walk into the pool and disappear into the Feywilds. You know, you hear
Actually-
a song in the middle of the
You
night.
know, accidentally.
Oh,
Out
it's
of
not accidental. As I said, elves are rather resistant to these charms. Others, not so much.
so we were able to set up a place to live here.
Yes, and I would also recommend that with some of the weirder things. We don't know if it's specifically Ebola, if it's the Fae coming back, or what's going on, but thus the curfew. Because if something weird happens in the middle of the night and no one's around to stop it, we don't know what's going to happen. So just follow the curfew, stay inside. If you hear any singing or anything weird like that, just ignore it. It's best we have trained professionals on staff to deal with this.
Out of curiosity, because we encountered something, is there a charm on the mountain by
Yes,
here?
that's Zap's doing, actually.
Is it to prevent rock slides?
Rock slides and various other things. I don't really understand it myself. He's a far better wizard than I just dabble.
Okay. Well, I think I need to go check out the blacksmith and get ready for tonight. I'm assuming we're gonna have a bit of a later start. So, if that's all, is there anything else you require from us? Anything else you'd like?
Not really. I think that pretty much sums up everything. You seem like very helpful people, and I'm glad to have you aboard. But if you have any other questions or anything, please ask now. If not, my schedule's a little busy, a little crammed later in the day.
Of course. I think I'm fine. What about you two?
I'm good. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure.
In that case, please feel free to spend some of your gold in my lovely city, and I will look forward to seeing you whenever you get back. Just let me know, and I will open my schedule and my doors for whatever it is you bring news of. But again, no fighting. I don't really want to have Project deal with you, but you are guests. My courtesies only go as far as you are law-abiding.
Of course.
And I apologize for any misrunnings you might have had with the others, but just please, Amblesville is the best policy. And he kind of stands up and he walks over to the door and he opens it for you guys. You can exit through the bottom of this tower if you want, or you can cross the bridge to either of the other towers. The doors are unlocked.
I'm already going out once he opens the door.
I'm following.
I'll give a deep bow, and I'll probably start heading off over to Broderick's tower to go get resupplied shield, shovel, shit like that.
Alright.
But I'm going to reach up and touch my earring, and I'm gonna send off another message to A-Rod. I don't like. They're super xenophobic. That's fine, but something about how he shied away from telling us what was at the top of the tower, top of the spire with the hornet, seems a little off.
I'll send a message back. You think it's worth poking around? Do we really want to do that?
Absolutely. You're the wettest shit I know.
We'll leave it to us then.
I'll give you a quick nod over as we're walking different ways.
Alright.
Psst, AC.
Yes.
Seems like we got a little poking around to do.
We've got a lot of poking around to do.
Want to see what's on top of the spire?
I think we should wait. We go
Really?
right now, they'll think we're looking for Bolal. We wait a little while, then less likely. What do you-
Alright, we'll wait a little bit. but it's still something on the to-do list.
Oh,
At least Salashar thinks there's something up there.
Do you think I've ever entered a building and that hasn't been on the to-do list? Really?
That's fair.
Like, honestly. Like, you don't even know me.
Don't say that.
Then assume that's always on my to-do list. Like...
Alright, so where's Aaron and Assy heading off to?
We could try to cover up your markings.
I'm actually thinking maybe we keep them. This
Like
might be
for
an
now.
asset. Yeah, at least for now. I might be able to just literally stroll into the cavity and no one would suspect a
That's
thing.
what I was thinking too. I was thinking that if you do go in, either you should go alone or you and I should go in because we're the ones most likely to be able to, like, run and hide and get away, you know?
Definitely want to go in there with some backup. I don't think I should be going in there all alone.
What would we even be walking into there?
I have no idea.
Seriously, like, come on. You've known me for years now. You have to have some idea. You left them for a reason. Don't feed me that bullshit. I've been accepting it for years. Like, come on.
Bolar is a strange individual. I couldn't even begin to guess what he's up to now. I'm just as in the dark as you are. Like I said, I haven't been there in years. So much has changed. I have no idea what's going on with the, well, I guess green serpents now.
Make a history check if you want. Or better yet, during your time away from the red rabbits or the green serpents, would A-Rod have kept any tabs on them?
Best he could, but he wouldn't be like, it wouldn't be a priority, but if the opportunity arose, he would definitely.
Then definitely do make me that history check with advantage.
Ooh, yay, with advantage. That's a natural 19 on the first one, and the second one is a natural 18. So an 18 total.
Alright. In your time with Bola and the Red Rabbits, the change that you recall is at first there was a closer knit group. But at some point you guys ran into something, and that's when he started changing. He started going more for larger things. He started getting more ruthless, and he seemed more concerned with making a name for the gang instead of just trying to slip past everything. Instead of avoiding conflicts, he was more like drawing them out, and he just started becoming more and more brutal, and he started having visions, he would call them. Things like needing to head more east, needing to make it to the shore, needing to gather more people. You've left before this, but you've heard whispers that for a while now, he's been trying to gather people to his banner. But the stories that you've picked up on mostly is that he kind of sees himself as a prophet. And that's actually what he refers to himself as now, is Bola the Prophet. And he foretells the coming of the end, and specifically, the words that come up a lot is the Sea of Serpents.
Okay. I mean, the most I could tell about him, he was getting really power hungry. He's trying to expand the territory, and then all of a sudden, he's seeing all these visions, and then he's going by the prophet, and things got all crazy. But other than that, there really isn't a whole lot I know about. Does the Sea of Serpents mean anything to you?
I mean, that is actually like that is a place, you know. On the other, you go like going from like Char to Sigwolf, you go like the Sea of Char, and you go past into the Sea of Serpents. You know, that is a place.
Yeah, well, he's focusing a lot of attention on it.
Wait. Sea of Serpents. The museum we were just at, it said that the Sea of Serpents because of the snake creatures that Salashar had us going to see.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's isn't that why it was called that?
I would assume so.
I think I remember reading something like that when we were walking around that museum.
Still doesn't explain why he's so into it. Maybe we can find out at the cavity.
Doesn't.
Out of curiosity, out of character, what race is Bowler? Because
He's an oak.
He's an orc. Okay,
He's an oak.
continue.
Alright, so with that, you guys are kind of making your way out of this tower. Shalasha, you're heading over to the barracks to go and get your shovels. It'll be easy enough to get everything. You're not even really asked to pay for any of it, as they were kind of informed that you were coming. They said as long as it's within reason, let him replace whatever it is that he needs.
Just bag of holding, scooping
So you
everything
tell
up and
me
down.
how much stuff you start taking, and I'll let you know how that goes for you.
I'm just gonna grab a shield, shovel. For the most part, I don't need rations. I think that should be it, pretty much. I don't
Yeah.
really need anything else.
Yeah, no, that's easy enough to walk out the door with. Shield on your back, shovel back in the backpack. Asi and A-Rod, where are you two headed?
Got anything else you want to do since we're in town?
Not much.
Want to grab a drink?
I wonder if
This
there's
is-
a problem.
I'm starting to worry
I'm
about
not
his
trying to be
liver.
rude, but I'm just,
It's the hardest working liver here.
exactly. It
trooper.
shouldn't have to be.
I just got a lot on my mind now.
Yeah, I've noticed. You can talk to me.
It's just this whole bowler thing. I don't know. Kind of worried about what we'll find.
So, you don't hate me now?
Of course not. I would never hate you.
Yeah, I know, but we were together for years, walking around, and now went to my home, Milska, and found out that I'm not exactly like most people in our profession. And after that, things started to get weird, and I thought maybe you didn't like the fact that I never told you.
Hey, you see, you're you. That's all I need to know.
Okay.
Nothing to worry about, really. I'll give her a hug.
I'll hug him back.
Alright.
Okay.
And then after a few seconds, I'll lightly punch you as if I'm going for a kidney shot. Stop getting so soft on me. Rubbing off.
Just don't hit the liver. Watch out for the liver.
It's not doing so good these days.
Alright. And with that, I'm assuming you two are off for a drink, but we are going to take a quick 15-minute break here. And when we get back, I'm going to be jumping in with Cole for a little bit. So, let's go for break now, and I'll see you guys back in 15 minutes or 10 minutes.
I'm good
Are you
for
asking us?
Yeah,
45.
we can do 20 if you want. You tell me, how long of a break do you guys want?
I think
only need
15
to
is
go to the
fine.
bathroom.
I think 15 is fine.
Alright, 15 it
Yeah.
is. We'll see you guys back here in 15 minutes, so 8:05 my time. BRB, guys. Thank you for joining us, those of you that are watching. Good.
I left
My
myself to
mindful.
die. Fuck you.
Are you guys, you guys good to get back to it?
Yep.
I like that's when we came back to. I left myself to die. Go fuck yourself. Nice. Alright,
Am I wrong?
so
That's kind of the tone of the group. I left myself to die.
I left myself to die. A D&D story. So, with that, you guys are just going to be kind of going around town. Is there anything else you want to do for the rest of the night that I need to think about what I deal with Cole? Or are you guys just planning to kind of go through the motions and just get through the rest of the day?
There was one thing I wanted to do when it gets later, when the sun starts setting.
Okay.
But I also just need my armor for it. Don't look into it.
I mean, that might take a little bit of time for that to get done.
Yeah, like other than that, I got all day basically to kill.
Alright, so you're just kind of killing time, but you're going to be kind of hanging around the blacksmith, more or less.
Yeah, I'll be I don't think there's anything I need or want. Chainmail. My plate mail's back in Milscar. So yeah, no.
Alright. Assy and Arod, same question.
I'm gonna pick up some precious gem beads, well, some of my precious gems, like turquoise and jasper, stuff like that, you know. And some deal wire.
Okay, all of that will be easy enough to find. You can spend anywhere from like 1 silver to like 5 gold.
I'm going hard. I'm spending 5 gold.
Alright, you will have lots of very fancy precious beads then. Arod, anything I need to keep in mind for you? Issy, I guess, is going to be doing some bead work.
Hurt my liver.
Yeah, I was about to say, probably just be having some drinks,
Alright.
getting ready.
Are you planning to get like drunk, or like what's your approach?
No, I'm not gonna get drunk. Just, just a good buzz.
Alright, yeah, just enough to like keep your head on straight if tensions get high.
Yep.
Good enough. The barkeep will probably talk to you a little bit, and he'll actually explain that the ale in this establishment actually comes from the hornets that they keep in the upper levels of this tower.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, they have a couple of people from the Honey Tongue tribe that work in here, which is a very well-known Ook tribe.
Honey tongues, you say?
Yes, Honey Tongues.
You get the fuck out of here, AC.
Oaks,
I'm
you-
I'm going to be working at a table in the bar area. Keeping an eye on A-Rod, but
I know what I said about beating, but
I'm working now. But I'm watching A-Rod, and then if anybody attractive comes by and walks in, let me know. Also, quick question: it's 10 gold to 1 platinum, yes?
I said when for what?
10
Yes.
gold for platinum.
Platinum.
Oh yes.
So then if I take that 15 into platinum, just for the sake of my accounting in my books, it would be 150, right?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. I wanted to make sure I was doing this right. Awesome.
Now, I'm just gonna quickly name 1 or 2 people in here. Like I said, I'm jumping to Cole, but I'm just gonna kind of prime you guys just so you're aware as to what's going on here. Over the course of the night, there are a couple of people that show up. Because of what you mentioned, there are 2 orcs within this place as well. One of them seems to be very nicely dressed. He seems to be from the Stone Totem tribe, and he actually has like a very large, ornate... It's too thick to be a staff. It's almost like a personal totem that's like carved, and with him is a very elderly-looking orc. And you would actually recognize that this figure has different elements, Asi, you specifically would know this, of the other tribes. He has something from the Red Jaw, something from the Honey Tongue, something from the Stone Totems, as well as one of his hands is dyed blue. You know, it seems like he's gone around a lot, and the weirdest thing with him as well is he has several jars. He looks very shamanistic in like the way that he's adorned himself. So those are probably the only like really, the orcs that you see coming into here. Those two, and they seem to be together. Besides that, there's a couple of elves that filter in throughout the night. But yeah. Anyways, we're gonna jump to Cole, as you have now been traveling for quite a ways throughout this day. You actually managed to keep Thilby quiet for almost an hour, and it was some blessed silence. But soon enough, he's back to it. And he's just kind of yammering on a little bit, and he's talking about like how they ended up on that mountain and about how he's going to be one of the greatest hunters. But then off in the distance, even with your I'll actually roll a perception. Let's see.
Hey, pretty good for me. 16.
16. Over the sound of his, pleasant conversation and his prowess as a storyteller, you can hear the sound of wheels crunching over rocks, heading your way.
Did Dottie ever arrive to them with food?
No, he got eaten by a hawk.
Not yet.
What the fuck are you doing, Dottie?
He's flying rather slow.
I'm like a good 2.5 days away.
Owl is the fastest flying familiar.
Yes, but you loaded him up with quite a few supplies.
Probably more than he weighs.
He's doing his best, damn it. Don't shame Dottie.
Dottie needs to work out more.
But eventually what does come into your vision, Cole, is indeed a very similar carriage, but this time it is upright and with horses attached. You do indeed recognize it as the carriage that you may or may not have been robbed by, but definitely stopped to investigate it not too long ago.
The exact same?
It's upright now.
You're colorblind.
I might be. I never rolled for that.
But it is heading your way. And Sylvie goes, I think... Do we get off the road?
I'm eyeing the driver.
Eyeing the driver?
See if I can recognize them from whatever distance they are.
You do. You see on, at the helm here, there seems to be a elf that you recognize who seems to be well-dressed, decent thing, and then next to her is orc fellow who has a very large crossbow just like across his lap, and he just kind of has his elbow on one side and he has his head against it. But when he sees you guys, he kind of like pokes up a little bit and shifts the crossbow.
Thoby, you're gonna shut up and do what I say. Just get ready to ride.
Okay. You got it, sir.
Fuzzykins, on my mark. Get these two to town. Just start running.
Alright. So this thing is approaching. Are you staying on the road, getting off the road? How are you approaching this as it's getting closer?
Just metagame this.
I'm gonna
make this easier for us.
No! Fuck you!
That's fair.
I'm going to lead Fuzzy just off of the road.
Alright.
Put my hand on my axe.
The carriage is starting
And just
to
wait
slow.
till I get closer.
Comes to a stop a little bit a ways. And then the female elf kind of speaks up and she just goes, "Those the kids?"
Those are kids.
She like leans back over and she like says something to some person within the carriage. The door swings open and you see very finely dressed elven gentleman comes out, as well as another figure who has no ears and seems to have no weapons of any kind, and then a human comes out as well, who's just kind of like, Thilby! And then Thilby goes, whispers over to you, that's Richard's father. Mr. Richard. At least that's what I call him. Not really a mister, though. Well, is he? Was it when they're married? And he just starts going off again. But, Richard speaks up and goes, where's my son's back at town. We're supposed to get you and then get back there.
Are any of these people the ones that jumped us earlier?
Yes.
That's what I'm actually looking for.
All of them are. You recognize the orc, you recognize the elf, you recognize the person with no ears, and you recognize the other gentleman who's just kind of, he got out of the cart and he's standing there, hands on his hips, and he has a very large cloak, and he's like pushed it behind him. It's almost like a trench coat. And you
How
see,
far away are they?
about 100 or so feet. They stopped at a polite distance.
Even Mr. Richard robbed us? That's rude.
Yeah, you just don't recognize Richard. Mr. Richard.
100 feet. Fuck.
And at this point, the other dude speaks up and he goes, do we know you? And then one of them goes, yeah, I was that weird lizard with the other ones. There's,
Hey, suck it. I'm not a lizard.
I don't know what you are, but look.
I keep
That
walking
was
forward, by the
in
way.
the past. I'm told that we gotta take you back there, and we're currently working for that town. So, I'll have you know, and this is the gentleman with his hands on his hips that's talking. That right there was just a fee to keep the roads safe. Fully refundable upon request. Just has to be requested. Alright?
Right. Insight check?
Yeah, you could roll an insight.
Fuck that wizard cunt.
Well, fuck, god damn it. Let me see what it... Do I even have...
Let me guess.
this
A 2?
3.
Actually, yeah, that on the die, it is a 2. So, 3.
Oh, I'm a fucking psychic.
I mean,
Alright,
The best
give the money
roll.
back then. I'm requesting it.
we didn't take it from you.
Still took it from one of my friends.
Oh, go ahead, pay the cunt. And the female elf actually, picks up from her belt a very familiar looking coin purse and just hucks it towards you. And it lands in the dirt about 50 feet from you and just kind of rolls. We good? Can we get back now?
I'm gonna start walking up to it. I gotta count the money first.
By all means.
Okay, I'll get up to it, pick it up, and start slowly walking to it while I pretend to count them. Start walking towards them while I pretend to count.
Right. Mr. Fluffykin's with you as well.
Hanging back.
Right. Thilby has gotten off of it at this point, and he's actually walking up with you, talking.
Nope. You get the fuck back on.
No, it's fine. We're going home.
No,
Everything's good.
you're getting the hell back on. You said you do what I tell you, so get on.
No, I said I would do until we got... It was implied.
I activate my Heart of Darkness feature. Get the hell back on the wolf now.
He just kind of stops in his tracks, and he just looks you over, and he's like, I'll stay here then. And he takes a couple of
No.
steps back away from you, back towards Mr. Fluffykins. Everyone else is watching this interaction. The oak is shifting with the crossbow uncomfortably, and they're just What exactly is going on? We're getting some weird vibes here.
Hold on a second. This kid is like being a real punk. I move up
Richard
to
speaks up at
Sylvie.
this point, and he goes, "That's still be for ya."
I'll move up to Thilby. These guys are very bad people. Get the hell back onto my wolf right now. Or I swear to God, I will have Fluffy grab you by the neck and drag you. And his teeth are very, very sharp.
I'll do it, but when we end up in this carriage, this is going to be a very awkward ride.
That like green miasma
Fine.
dripping off of his fucking face.
And he is gonna go, and like he doesn't get on the wolf, he like goes next to it, and he's just like,
I look at him.
fucking fine. He gets on it. Everyone else is just watching this, and they're just like,
I
we're
start
just-
walking back towards them. Fucking teenagers. Yeah, you know, am I right? They never listen.
okay, look,
How far are they now?
however close you want to be within, up to 30 feet, we'll say.
Let me check something real quick.
You guys remember the road to El Dorado very well?
Yeah.
Yep.
There's one
No.
scene where it's like, get on the horse.
Same
Yeah,
energy.
50, 60
Exact
feet is
same
fine.
energy.
I look back at Fluffykins. Now,
And
go.
Fluffy is just gonna start running. Like it has to get down the road, right? So it's gonna like go into the woods. And
Through the
Richard
woods
just
is
like
fine.
he just looks shocked as all of this is happening. What else do? You're technically going because you said go. So if you want this to go fast, you tell me what next is Ko doing.
I look back at them, specifically at the guy with the wands. Like, you know, your choice of companions isn't very good because those two look like they're about to betray you. I'm pointing at the orc and the archer.
Alright.
No, they're just ugly.
And as I say betray, I cast command at level 2 on them.
Okay. And what is the command word?
Betray.
Betray.
Power word shit.
Wisdom DC 15.
15. Alright. The orc goes to raise the crossbow, and before he can even get it up, the elf just quickly puts her elbow into his nose and, like, jumps on him. And those two start fighting, and the other guy looks at you, the guy with his hands on his hips, and the monk. We're gonna have to roll initiative here, unfortunately.
What part of metagame do you not understand? I mean, I understand, but
How the fuck you do not understand?
we're not around to touch your butt. I can't hold your tail while you vomit.
I'm tougher than you think.
You're
Although
fucking
maybe not.
2'1".
I'm 3'2". No, 3'7".
Did I stutter?
Alright, what
Yes.
did you get for your initiative?
Let's see. No initiative bonus. So, yeah, that would be a 3.
Oh god.
Shut up. You shut up.
Alright. So, as this happens, the first person that moves is the elf with no ears. And he looks at Dormund. Dormund just kind of gives him a nod, and this guy runs towards you. He makes it to you, and he doesn't even look winded. You feel like maybe there's something special, and as you're kind of just watching how gracefully he moves, he's going to attack you. Does a 25 hit?
No. Yes, of course
Okay.
it hits.
Can you make
It's like the AC of a god. Hello.
Can you make a I believe it's a con saving throw?
Oh, fuck. You know what? Let's not use that dice. Natural 20 for a 24.
24. Alright. So you're going to take 6 points of damage. You also feel like your vision goes a little hazy as they like just punch you in the face and you manage to shrug off the stunning blow. But they have another attack. Does a 15 hit?
Nope.
Alright, they're going to spend a key point to do a flurry of blows. So I'll roll these at the same time. Does an 18 hit?
18 is my AC, so yeah.
Alright, and the other one is a natural 20.
Oh.
I'm sorry, monks are mean. Okay. Double that. Look at the... Kraken, you shush. My dog's sad for you. You're going to take 12 points of damage, because the crit wasn't that hard. As this guy just runs up towards you, hits you once in the face, and you shrug it off. The other one, like, hits into, like, your iron chest piece, and there's just a loud thud. And then with that, they just quickly hit you with an elbow across the face, and then they, like, kick you at the same time, trying to, like, knock you back. But you're still standing against this. Unfortunately, you don't go next yet. As the next person goes is going to be Dormund, who is going to push Mr. Richard back into the cut, and he goes, "Don't worry, we'll deal with this." And he's going to point out his wand towards you. Can you make a dex saving throw?
Probably not. Yeah. No fucking way. It's another fucking 20.
Another 20. Alright, this time you're ready as this goo goes flying over your head and you just like duck below it.
it just like skims your fucking skull.
Then the next thing he does is he's going to look over to those two fighting. And he's going to use his bonus action to do something as he just goes, "Come on, you guys, get your heads on straight." And then we get to the next one, which is going to be the Archer who is wrestling with the Orc. They just kind of roll back. Do they get a save again at the start of their turn or end of their turn against command?
It only lasts one round.
One round. So she's like throttling him, and he's like coughing at this point, and she's like, "Have you had enough?" And she kind of holds her action. We get to his turn.
Target must succeed on a wisdom save or follow the command on its next turn.
Got it.
And then it goes away.
Alright. So we get to the Oak's turn, and he's going to kind of like cough. He's like, "Alright, we're good. And she's going to like let him up, and they're like letting each other up. And then we finally get to your turn. So you have earless man in your face punching you. We have Dormund about 30 feet back, and then the other two about 20 feet back by the carriage. And they've...
Yep, I'm starting to realize I've made a horrible choice. I'm gonna yell out at them. "See, I told those two I told you those two would betray you," and I use my second spell slot to do the same thing. The same two.
This time, Dormund, as he is ready, you watch as he just like pushes his hand out towards you, flicks with the wand. He's going to cast counter spell.
Fucker.
He has a lot of wands.
I need to kill him and take all of those. Yeah, I'm going to have to take the attack of opportunity and book it into the forest.
Okay. You got it.
Oh, fuck, dude.
That's going to be 21.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, you are going to take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as he like conks you on the back of the head as you try to like run away.
God damn, chip damage. Jeez. Fucking monks.
Alright, so you move 30 feet. Is that your turn?
Basically, I'm wanting to get into the forest, get something in between me and everyone else.
Alright.
But yes, that's all that I can do.
Unfortunately, monks are
Unless
faster.
I have a potion.
Ooh.
Do I? I do not. Never mind.
Fuck. Unfortunately, monks are faster than you.
Uh-huh.
As he is going to just kind of... You start running, he hits you once, and then you like start making some distance, and you look back, and he's already like moved, and he's like moving to cut you off, and suddenly he's just in front of you again. He's going to try to pop you in the face again. An 18 does hit.
Hmm.
Can you make another con saving throw?
Yeah, we'll find out.
As he's just going to continue to burn key at an impressive rate.
What the hell? Why are my saves so good? 17 plus.
Because the world realized that you made a grave mistake and is trying to help you.
21.
21. Alright, you shrug it off. But he's still going to hit you with his bonus attack. Then he's still going to... Well, we'll just throw these damages. One is 4 damage.
Alright, yeah.
The other is 4 damage again. As he just continues to just pelt you in the face.
Okay.
Alright. That will be the monk's turn. Then we get back to Dermot, who's just yelling. He's like, "We just need the kids!" And he's gonna start moving after you. He'll be able to stay in range. He's going to look at his wands. He's fumbling through them. He pulls out another one. Can you make a wisdom save?
Uh-oh. 11.
11. With that, you just feel yourself lock up under the hold person spell. Okay. Now, I believe this last thing, you get to make another one. So, we get to the other two have, like, helped each other up, and they're, like, moving towards you, and they're going to take a dash action. We get to your turn. You can make another wisdom save.
I imagine, like, Kirk comes to, and he just, like, kicks him in the shins and takes off running an extra 10 feet. The monk is like, dude, come on.
No, that's another 11.
Another 11. Alright. They're going to take this to the 4 of them, start tying you up. They just start pulling out rope, and they're just wrapping it. Like, just call it back, and we'll end the spell. And we get back to your turn. Your hands are now tied behind you, and you're kind of just, like, sandwiched up, and so you can make another wisdom save to see if it ends.
It
Yeah,
never
if
ends.
anything, because, what the why can't I roll like this in combat? That's another natural 20.
Alright, you're no longer under the hold person, but you are still bound with 4 people, like, on top, and they're like, just call it back. Now we can just get on this carriage and go back to Fey Pond.
No, I'm not calling it back because my wolf is going to be taking them to Fey Pond.
Look here. Doman kind
Nope.
of speaks up and he goes, look here. We could kill you and dump you in these woods if we didn't know your party was waiting for us back over there. So,
I'm not handing those kids over to bandits.
we're not bandits.
Yes, you are.
By the definition.
The exact definition.
Crux,
Fuck your moral compass, Kerr.
you like,
Robbers?
tell you what, you're coming with. Crux, get the lizard, and the yoke is going to, like, heft you up.
I tried to bite him?
He'll
Is
just
that
let you
really all
bite
I
him.
can do?
He'll just let you bite him as he just starts walking you towards the carriage. He's like, this is going to be a long ride, isn't it? That's going to throw you in the back. You can roll a d4 for your bite if you want. Oh, well, actually, yeah, I'll let you roll a d4.
3.
3. Alright. You kind of like, you bite him, like he's like bleeding badly, and there's like some effort, he like rips you off of his back, tearing some of his flesh with it as he throws you into the back of the cart. And then Dormund and the monk are going to get into the cart with you. Just the other two get back up there, and Richard is there as well, and he's just looking at this and he's confused, and Dome's like, don't worry. We keep weird company.
No, worry a lot.
I
These
will
people are bad people.
Gay you.
They're
if
robbers,
you keep this
and
up.
they're robbers, and they're bandits. They stole from us. These are very bad people. They would probably have taken those kids and used them as ransom. You
Gay
hired the wrong people.
At this point, the monk is just going to grab something and just put it in your mouth. Just dumb and shushing as he's just pushing this wad into your throat.
Eat
Eat it. Eat whatever they try to gag you with.
Alright. It's going to be a long... do you want to try to escape doing this, or do you want to...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, actually, I do. Fuck these guys.
Alright. So, I will roughly go over how this little ride goes, and once in a while I'll prompt you about stuff. So, at first, they just throw you in this, they kind of gag you after a while. Richard is kind of like, what the fuck's going on? And Dorman's just kind of, look, it's fine. There was a misunderstanding. Can you, over the course of this, can you make like a dex saving throw, or a strength saving throw, between the two to try to fight these ropes?
Come on, Green Dye, you've been good to me. Sort of. No, yeah, I had to say it.
Alright. These ropes are very well tied. You know, 4 people working together, they, like, you're like, damn, they did this pretty good.
They've been
try out
called
the
wrestling before.
So, at some point during this, you know, as they're having this conversation, Dorman just kind of goes, you know what would help everyone? If we all just took a nice nap. And he's going to grab another wand, and he's just going to point it towards you and cast sleep, and the rest of it towards Richard. Let me roll.
Roll those dice. No, I want a dice roll.
Oh, I'm rolling these dice. Let me find the sleep spell exactly to make sure this is fair.
8d8.
Fifth. Sleep.
Rolls 8.
5d8. Okay.
Oh, only 5?
Well, hopefully he rolls well. So that's a 5. That's a 4. 3. Another 4.
Can I
and
lay
an
on
8.
tail myself?
Huh?
22.
Can I lay on tail myself?
You're bound? Does it say it takes an action or anything?
You know what?
I mean, you might be able to. Technically, you are restrained, but...
He's restrained and he's touching himself. There's no reason he shouldn't be able to. Because it's only 20.
An action, you can touch a creature, and that's it.
No. You're technically touching yourself, so I guess you could if you really wanted.
Because he only has 20 HP worth of sleep.
It's okay.
No, I have 23.
It's okay.
But not anymore, because I'm busting them all.
Alright. So with that, Dome's just gonna like cock his head and he's gonna go, really? And he's gonna use another charge of the wand. Alright. Alright, this one is going to be 4, 6, 7, 3,
20.
5, 6.
26.
So 26 more points of sleep. Alright, the last thing you hear is Doman just go, easy there, buddy. Just take a nice nap.
No. No.
Alright.
Just this smallest little.
Alright, how long does sleep last?
It only lasts a minute.
Oh god.
Fucking 2 uses of the wand, all of this effort for a fucking 60
It's
second
alright.
cat.
They can do a lot in these 60 minutes. As when you wake up, you're gonna have even more rope on you and just even more gagged. You can make another strength or dex save with disadvantage. And we'll just kind of see whether or not you can escape from this or make any heads or tails from this.
Come on, that
Disadvantage.
wet little shit.
No, that's gonna be an 8.
An 8. Alright, so over the course of the thing, Durman tries to talk to you several times, or he's just like, "Hey, look, just calm down. We'll deal with this when we get there. It's
Roll
fine."
through! I keep on using Heart of Darkness.
Out of darkness. You have like these weird little eyes, and eventually he gives up. He's like, "I'm done with this. We're moving on." Meanwhile, back at town, at some point before the carriage shows up, you guys would be informed that there is a very large wolf running through town with 2 kids on it. And you guys, if you wanted to look into this, you tell me.
I'll be by the pond. That's where I want it to be.
Alright,
So
you will see Co's mount arrive with Thilby and Basha on it.
I'll probably try and like step in the way and intercept it. At least, kind of like, whoa, Bessie.
It's a smart creature. Do you think Fluffykins would listen?
Probably. He does know the party, and he does understand common.
Alright, so he will woe Bessie. And Thilby's going to, like, get off the mount and be like, "Jesus Christ!"
Where's Kerr?
He
Wait,
told
no.
me to get on the thing and leave. He didn't seem like he liked the carriage people.
No, they're assholes and they stole our money.
They gave the money back.
Then what?
And then Cole said, "Get on the mount," and I said, "But no, it's fine. I want to be in the carriage." And then he said, "No," and then he, like, stared into my soul, and he was really, like, scary in that moment. And next thing I know, I get on it, and he's like, "Be gone!" And it just took off like a shot. And I'm holding on to this thing as it's just going through the woods. I don't know if you've ever been on, like, a freaking horse. This is, like, worse than a... There's no padding. Like, and
Take off my ears.
he continues for a little bit. And eventually he, like, catches his breath and goes, "Anyways, I want to go get a drink." I think he's following. You could go down the road and find them if you want.
How long did it take you to get from there to here?
6? I can't keep track of time, right? The sun was up, now it's not, okay? I don't know what you want from me.
6. Roger. All right. I'll reach up and I'll grab both of them and try and help them off. Mr. Fluffykin, maybe.
Sylvie's already helping Basha off, and he goes, "Let's go get... Where's Richard, son?"
As far as I'm aware, he's still in the infirmary.
I want to go check on him. And he's gonna start heading that way as they're just... with a nice big dog drooling everywhere. He's panting hard. Mr. Fluffykins, he worked his little wolf heart out getting here. That's for sure.
I'm going to take him by the collar of the lead. I'll just kind of meander him over towards the hornet. It's like try and get him in a relative place we know where he is. See if we can get him some water.
Alright.
Basically, what time is it now?
It's like the sun's going down. It's getting later in the day.
Okay, I want to wait till it's pretty dark.
Alright, well, by the time it's pretty dark, if no one else wants to do anything, the carriage is going to pull up to town.
I think we would have left.
Well, that's up to you guys. You tell me where you want to be when the carriage arrives.
Yeah, because we need to go to that. Well, we don't need to, but I believe we wanted to go to the meeting. Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you two want to fuck off to the cavity now?
You guys didn't tell me when you were going.
We were told tonight.
Yeah, by the orc. And that's why in the meeting I'm like, hey, when is it? And you're like,
Well, you
so
left.
like,
You're the one that fucked off and went off somewhere immediately afterwards while we're hanging out
Alright,
in the...
kids,
like-
kids. None of that matters. Pool planning is part of D&D. So that being said, where is everyone when this carriage arrives?
I'm down by the pond.
Assy, A-Rod?
Herod?
You know what? I kind of feel like we might have left too.
Yeah,
Alright.
so...
Good luck, my love.
So you two are making your way through the woods.
Taking away.
Alright, we'll be dealing with your two's travel. This session is getting close to the end, so let's just very quickly try to wrap up a little bit as to what's happening within this town as you two are off alone. I'm assuming you two have your rations and everything prepared.
Yeah.
Alright, now you will also notice that the orc that was shouting and told you about the meeting is nowhere to be found when you guys are like making your preparations to leave. He's missing. He's MIA. Is there anything I need to know about your travel plans? Or anything you would like to make me aware of for your travel plans?
No, just trying to keep it quick and quiet.
Quick and quiet. Alright. Making a
You know,
note.
like, not trying to attract too much attention.
Alright. Now,
I probably have dressed down.
it's going to be about 2 days travel from here. If that changes anything for your guys' plans. You know, unless
I
you
don't know.
wanted to get horses and expedite it. But on foot through the woods, it's going to be about 2 days.
How much would horses even cost?
Do you want to ask around? Or is that just a question for the universe? You tell me.
Out of character in general.
It depends on the one you want. They definitely have a bit of a range. In this place, let me... You can get some that are like cheaper, like some ponies for like 40ish gold. Then you get some horses that are more like 75, 80ish, and then like better and better horses that just go up and up and up. The ones in this place, they're supposed to be very, very well trained. So you could get one that's like not as well and is more like a traveling horse for like, we'll say 80 gold, or you get one of the very well, like they call them like forest or like trail horses, and they're like 120 to 200, and they'll give you, you know, the tack, the saddle, that sort of thing.
Probably just go on foot. It's quieter that way anyway.
How much less time is that traveling, though?
They would cut it from 4 days to 2 days, you know, because it's there and back.
It's a gold worth a day.
Could we talk to the people in charge here and see if they could make arrangements for us to get horses?
You would be politely informed that you were paid 6,000 gold
Oh yeah.
for your services.
Yeah. That's fair. That makes sense. And
So-
how much is a mid-range horse again?
About 80 gold.
80 gold. If we return the horse, can we get the money back at all?
Yeah, as long as you return it in good condition, we'll be willing to purchase it back from you.
Oh, in that case, that's pretty nifty.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a living creature, it doesn't lose its value unless you damage it.
Well, want to make sure
Yeah.
some people, when you buy a horse and then you try to bring it back later. They try to add on additional fees, like, oh well, now there's a fee for you stabling new horses, and I bought new horses because you took these horses, you know.
So I have a special guest.
Aww. He's the buddy.
So you want to get a horse then? One or two?
You can probably just get one, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We could even get you one of the stronger ones if you want. Call it, we'll say, 130 gold.
Sure.
Hey, A-Rod.
We put up 65.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright. Fantastic. Now, the last question that I need to ask you. Because you grabbed the gold and you threw it in pocket space. So you have 6,000 gold. Did you split it with anyone else? Or you
Yes,
just
I did.
fucking off?
No. I made sure to give it all, and I would have left co-share with Salashal.
Alright, and you guys, you figured it out. I just need to know how much did each one get.
It's 1,500 pop.
Everybody got 150. Yes. 1,500.
1,500. You got it. Alright, make sure you guys accept Shalasha. You can put 3,000 if you want. That's up to you. It's because you have Cole's amount. Is everyone left? Alright, so as you two leave, Shalasha, you are the only one in town when this carriage pulls up. You recognize this carriage, and you recognize the 4 individuals and the human that just kind of comes out, and he immediately just heads to the infirmary. You also see an orc with a very large package put over his shoulder that you soon recognize as Cole, who looks to be in about as much rope as you used to get down that mountain.
Raccoon did it.
Yes, and you can hear just.
They tie up my tail.
Oh, they tied that up too.
I'll step in the way. Can I have my kobold back, please?
Yeah, we just gotta get a rope back from him.
I'm still struggling.
Set him
And,
down, start unraveling it. It's gonna
I'm gonna
take a little bit.
My head around and see Richard.
He
So-
like I said, he's fucked off. As soon
Yeah,
as
like
they-
as he saw, I was like, I know that they're with them. Can I have my gold back?
this one has it, and he points towards the kobold.
Are we not going to talk about what happened on the road?
So as they're tying him up, Dillman kind of straightens themselves. What's there to talk about? You were on the road, you saw a carriage, you approached, weapons out. We had a brief little scuttle.
And then you robbed me blind.
I didn't rob you. I robbed you.
Whichever one of you did.
Okay, well, let's not act like you're holy. I've seen who you were running with. You're telling me no one in your group happens to just make things disappear? Do you answer when they do that out of curiosity? Or am I the only one being put on trial here? Just asking. Let's just get on the level, you know.
I make a habit of actively slapping the fingers of my finely fingered friends.
I don't even see 2 of them here with you. Never even saw one of them who was in the woods with a bow. But the other one, I don't see her, so where are they now? You waiting around here? Do you think they're scrambling around in the dark?
They went to go see Bowler.
Oh,
They're going to do some
fantastic.
reconnaissance.
So you come here asking for the gold I took when you're here stealing me contracts.
We were...
You got a lot of nerve.
Okay, shut up. You see this badge? I'm here on behalf of an employer. I was sent here to talk to whoever takes care of the town. You were hired as mercenaries. I was hired.
Mercenaries.
You're... The stunt you pulled on the road,
You're
you're
not
no better
wrong.
than bandit.
We prefer contractors.
and that's fair. I'm just here to do a job. If someone went and hired you, I'm not taking your contract, you're not taking mine. We're here to figure out what the fuck is going on with this town.
So am I. So we're practically partners. And he's gonna put his hand out towards you.
I'm gonna gag a little bit.
Go at
and
this
some-
point, you've been
Fine.
unwound. You're now free and you've been ungagged.
I'm gonna gag a little bit and like cough, and some of the black miasma is gonna like seep out of my mouth and over his hand. I'll just like reach out and grab it. You might want to watch that.
Disgusting. Alright.
Alright. I'll kind of kneel down. I'll kind of kneel down to Kerr.
He's a feisty little fuck. Don't
Do
mind
you want
his
to-
face.
Do you want to explain this? And I'll just talk to the mountain of rope that's taller than you are.
Is like getting wound up. Crux and Ara have grabbed him. They're just winding it around their arms.
They're jerks?
Joke! He
You shut
attacked us, I'll have you know.
I had every right to.
4 against 1. Still
He
went at
charged
us.
you with his axe.
He made these two fight. And he gestures towards
Well,
you.
isn't that their problem?
I'm sorry, I'm usually the con artist, but you're right, shithead. We're going to get a drink. I'm done with this conversation.
I'm gonna kill you next time I see you.
Next. You threatening me life?
No, I'm making a promise.
My goodness, Kerr.
Oh.
No, no, I'm tired of being good.
No, look.
It's gotten me nothing but trouble.
If we want to come to blows, we can come to blows. We could work together, or it's not my
I'm not
first
working
time
with
in
you.
the woods. I didn't say work for me, I said work with me.
I'm not working with you either.
Okay, well, tell you what,
Kerr,
you can call me a thief, and then you can go back
are?
with the other 2 little fucking thief friends.
You're a thief.
Hey, Kerr.
What?
We were actually supposed to have them help us on our job.
He's like,
They're-
Dorman's like walking away and he like whistles, and the other 3 follow him.
It's a little awkward, but they're supposed to be our backup.
Prove
Better
that.
keep your eyes closed. I'm sorry?
If you'll pardon the Orcish, screw them.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, they stole my money. Honestly, they set up a real shitty ambush. They're no better than fucking bandits.
And they really
What?
should be thanking me for the first time that we encountered them.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to fight them at first, but no, now I do. Now I do. Now I want to hurt them.
Remind me never to get on your bad side. And I'll like pat you on the shoulder, reach down, grab my coin purse.
Yep, here you go. Although to be
So-
honest, you did handle me pretty easily.
So, how you attacked them? Were you charging them with your axe?
Oh, I cast a spell. I was trying to get those stupid teenagers safe, and I didn't trust them.
I mean, that's fair. That's definitely
Yeah,
fair.
I see. I had reason. I had perfectly good reason.
Yeah, Alright, fuck. Mr. Fluffykins, I brought him over by the Hornet. And I'll turn and I'll point towards a spire. Up there, there's a tavern. Rooms are covered. I'll reach down, I'll grab my key. Take this room. I'll get another one.
Thank you.
Just try not to be an ankle biter. We gotta play nice.
I did not bite any ankles.
Yet.
Shoulder, a wrist, maybe. No ankles.
Okay, if you think you're gonna see the elf, cover your eyes, because I mean, a promise is a promise.
Hmm.
If you don't see him, you don't have to kill him. It's fair?
Good point. Good point. I, however, am sweaty and I'm sore from being tied up for so long, so I'm gonna go take a bath and I think I'm gonna go to sleep then.
There's a curfew in place.
Are we past it?
No, it's coming up fairly soon here, but we are asked if there's any weird noise in the forest. Don't investigate. Try not to stick our noses in anything.
Yeah, that might
And
try.
the elves are a little xenophobic.
What's that?
They don't like anyone that's not an elf. They're kind of cocksuckers. So,
I'm tired of asking what's that, so I'm not going to ask.
they're not very nice to people that aren't elves.
Yeah, I got
They're
that.
snotty about it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I'm kind of used to that, so...
I'm gonna go take a quick swim. I'll meet you in the tavern in a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take off walking towards Fey Pond. Like the pond.
The pond.
Hey, before you leave, have you ever heard of Anima Solus?
Don't believe so.
Okay.
Can I roll history on that?
Sure.
Let's say +4, so that's a 15.
15. All you know is that it loosely translates in Elvis to Soul's Light or Soul's Luxury. It's between one of the two. That's all you really get from that. You've never heard of it, but it definitely is an ancient Elven name. It's actually from like a very, very old tongue. That's why there's two translations for it.
Where did you hear this?
Nowhere. Just wondering.
You're something. Alright. Oh, go enjoy that.
Have fun swimming. I head off to take a bath and rest.
Alright.
I'm walking fully dressed into the lake.
Alright, tell you what. We are
That's how I
going
think that.
to deal with you first, and we'll see how long that takes, and that might be the end of the session. But we'll start with you, because I want to see where the hell this is going. So you start walking towards this lake, you make it to the shore, and you don't stop. And you start marching in. Are you wearing your armor, or...
That's why I needed my armor, so I actually just... So I'm weighed down.
Alright, you have your armor, and you are indeed weighed down. Luckily, you don't need to breathe, and you're able to just march on into this.
Real Pirates of the Caribbean.
So, soon enough, you're completely underwater, and it's weird being in this in your full suit of armor, as you just feel it completely engulf you, and it gets to fill you as well, as you don't have any organs, and you are suddenly just encased completely in water. Underneath this water, it is difficult to see. You can only see as far as your vision can out in front of you, except far off in the distance, and what you think is the center, you can see a glow of some sort. And the water itself, like I said, it is difficult to see, but there are like odd little sparks that kind of float off from the center of this lake, making their way to the surface, where it just kind of shimmers and then fades into nothing.
How big is the lake itself? 100 feet across?
Quite
200?
large. I couldn't give you an exact estimate, but it is like over 1,000 feet. It is a large, they call it Fey Pond, but it is on a large side for a pond.
Okay.
You can see through it from one side to the other, but it's far enough that, like, you know, you kind of want to use the catapult spell to, you know, move things across.
That's fair. Actually, I just need to look up. Sorry, I just gotta look up exact wording of this spell. Arcane Hand. Okay. I'm going to keep walking towards the center of the lake. You said there's a glow there. I'd like to investigate it. Basically, for the sake of this, because they said there was a Fey portal here, because there was a little bit of lore dropped around the water itself and where the portal was, I want to investigate, see if there's any remnants.
Sure.
If there's anything shiny, like if it's like a wishing well, I want to see if there's anything
Make
out of place.
a arcane check for me.
I do have proficiency in Arcana. So that's a 19.
19. You start moving towards the center of this pond, drawn towards the light. Similar to a moth to a flame, as there isn't really much else to see down here. And that's one of the things you do notice, is there is 0 fish in this pond. It is completely void of life. There is no seaweed, there is nothing until you get closer to this light. And you can see little tendrils of some plants propping up here and there. But more than that, you can see it starting to grow, and then they like wither and die, and then another one, and another one. It's like this constant surge of life fighting against this glow. And what you actually see when you look at this is you see runes carved into the sand, and it's like kept there somehow. It's almost like a solid ring where the sand has been fused. And it is actually, with your arcane check, a banishment spell and a magic circle that is containing this. And these plants that are surging against it and dying seem like they're fighting against whatever enchantment that's pushing this back. Looking at this light itself, it almost looks like a tunnel, but there's like something over it. It's distorted, you know. It looks like there's a hole, but it's not clear. You know, have you ever tried to look through a convex or a concave lens? It's almost like that. You know, you can see there's something there, and this tunnel is bright, it's light, but it's distorted, it's wrong, it's not fully connected. There's something stopping this.
Is there anything around the portal? Anything that's kind of left over?
There's the fused ring of sand that has become solid, that has these runes carved into it. There's all of the plants surging against it, trying to grow and then dying.
There's no armor, no weapons, no
nothing.
Remnants of the Fae.
Just the surging of these plants against this enchantment.
Can I reach my hand into the circle? I'm a little bit of metagame, but I'm assuming it's to protect it from the Fae.
You reach out to touch it, and like you cannot push your hand beyond, like wherever this ring is, you can't get to it or to the other side.
It's also to protect anyone from trying to fuck with it. Okay.
You know, it's almost like, you know, you reach out, it's like a mime. You just come against this thing. You can feel the magic there. You can feel the Dwemer. You can feel this buzz of electricity that's just kind of against your hand, and you can, you know, you feel it. There's definitely a strong magical force at play here.
Okay. I think for the moment I'm just going to keep exploring around the pond. If you do want to hop to someone else in the meantime, I'm just going to keep exploring. If I don't find anything within like a half hour, nothing of interest, then I'm probably just going to head back.
Well, I believe, A-Rod, you usually need to leave at this time, correct?
Yeah.
Alright, in that case, we are going to be ending today's session here. So, thank you guys for joining us, and we will be picking this up next week with where we left off. with Asi and A-Rod leaving this town and going off into the woods, Shalasha finishing his last little of exploration here, and Cole making his way into the tavern. So, with all of that in mind, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.